That hurt.
Then what is this thing?
Gio should never play for U.S. men's national team again because of the action of his parents.
What an idiot! Oh! What type of Muppet does this?
It's Muppets. Absolute Muppets.
I'm not going to be the best person to give a whole explanation here, but that's...
Booty! Sick! Booty!
Fucking deal with it. What are we really doing?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Throw a zebra in between a tarantula and an elephant.
Has been nothing more than a sham.
Yeah, we didn't play well, but you know what? At the end of the day, we got the job done.
It's going to be a good time for sure.
Oh, sex with the first cousin would indeed be incest. And
welcome to the Straight Red Card. Brett joining us from the gates of Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Castle. My buddy Robin Hood right here.
Got a band playing in the background.
No, that's awesome. This is on repeat in Nottingham.
Wherever you go, they just got big speakers up across the whole town.
Absolutely.
It plays all fucking day long.
All day long.
Oh Jesus! Well, can we mute it?
Shut up!
Thank
I think
you.
you did it.
All right, well done. Oh man, we got quite the show for you today. I got to tell you guys something else. I mean, we got a lot to cover. I know that you kind of wonder. You're like, well, how's that possible? Well, transfer season just ended, so lots of shit happened. I just swore within the first. Well, no, we're well into.
We don't monetize it anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I do want to give a shout out to Nasser for clobbering Inter Miami 6-0 in a friendly. I guess that whole tour thing's working out well. Messi played a whole 7 minutes. Man, I don't know. If I'm Messi, Brett, I'd just say I don't really want to do that.
I don't pull a hammy.
I don't want to travel all over the goddamn world playing all these teams and losing, which is what they've been doing. Also want to give a shout out to Lewis Hamilton for getting a transfer, if you will, to Ferrari from Mercedes in Formula One. You know, what is he, a 7-time world champion? That's huge news. It broke the internet today, apparently. Also want to say the band Train sucks. There was some advertisement. I guess they're going to come back and play live locally. And
I already got tickets, Derek. Spinner with the company card.
Oh, my God.
Front row.
And it's not a big secret anymore, and people should know this. The song Drops of Jupiter was an absolute ripoff of a band that used to tour with them. And that's like their biggest hit, if I remember right. And I happen to know this because I happen to be friends with the band that they ripped off. And they ended up having to pay out massive sums. And apparently they're supposed to be keep it quiet. They weren't supposed to talk about it. And they never did, but it still somehow got out that it happened. I won't take Drops of Jupiter slander. Well, they didn't even write the song themselves. They had a major payout just to continue to play the song because it made millions. And then they have that, hey, sister, sister, I want to pop your blister song or whatever the fuck it is. I fucking hate that song. God, I want to slap that dude so hard. But you know what?
I feel like what's his face? The dude who makes all the parody songs.
Weird Al.
Weird Al. I'm surprised Weird Al didn't take that song up.
It's about boils. The song. Hey, sister, sister. All right. Also, so I was watching this other F1 show today, and this guy is named Tomo. Great coverage of F1, but he didn't know what the word overtures meant. If I said, Brett, how would you use overtures in a sentence? You would know how to do it, right?
Sure.
Okay. But
I like overtures.
But it's one of those, like, we don't ever hear that in the rumors section, the transfer rumor section. Nottingham Forest are making overtures towards Gio Reyna. That's a new one that somebody's got to use. Overtures. Also, it's the last of the things that popped in my head over the week, this past week. I was thinking to myself while partaking, hey, stepsister, that ain't that my stepsister in the laundry machine.
That's great. Way to go, Kevin.
Stepsister. We had to add that. You're absolutely right.
Eric, I want you to make the parody.
The parody?
Yeah,
Okay.
do a parody of that song.
I could
Not
probably
right
do that.
now. I mean, you can record it yourself. You can do whatever you got to do.
Hey, stepsister, wanna pop your blister? All right, let's see here. There could be even more gross things going on there. I do want to see, speaking of gross things, I am so happy that for the most part, porn has been fixed since the 90s and the 2000s. I know you.
Sure, no, I want to get to the bingo cards before we start really diving into the fluff. I mean, I feel like you probably already gave everybody like 5 free passes here.
All right, well, you show the cards, and then I'll fill you in on how porn has improved.
I don't want you
since the
filling me in
90s.
about anything with porn, Derek. That's just no, that's wrong.
No, you'll understand when I bring it up.
Yeah.
You'll understand.
Here's part
Even
one,
flow.
Here's number 2. Number 2.
We don't know.
There's a free space in that one, guys.
Huh?
So there was a free space in that one. It said Derek sings.
Okay. Well, I already did that.
I know. Well, that's true. We've already done that a number of times.
Yeah. Blew that one. Hear me spoken.
All right. You got Derek.
All right. So I was thinking to myself this week how they've improved porn.
Yeah.
If you remember in the 80s and the 90s, maybe you weren't watching in the 80s. You weren't old enough yet. But even in the 90s, it's continued. One of the worst things about porn was the elongated close-ups of the orifice areas as they combated with one another, if you want to call it combating. No, not that. Not sword fighting. But often I remember as a kid thinking, well, can we widen the shot out so we can see more of what's going on? I don't need 5 minutes straight of close up of the intercourse happening. Like, I want to see perspective. I want to know, is this chick hot? And if I can't even see her, then I don't really want to. I've got to be able to connect the orifice with a face. But if you do spend 10 minutes on the orifice, they don't do that anymore. Thank God for that. So that got fixed. I don't know when it got fixed, but there was a lot of that in the 80s and the 90s. Bad filming. And I got to ask you, just like
it all turned amateur, so you no longer have a director camera right there. You've got to place it up here on the shelf so you get the full bed, and that's how it works now.
Well, then it's just perspective, right?
Now
So
you just see the guy's ass and everything. That's all about.
Yeah, there's way too much bad porn, and my point there would be, why is there bad porn? If you're gonna make it, do it right. Don't make garbage. That's like cooking. If you're gonna cook right. Don't
GoPros, secret, inside your glasses and everything like that. Secret cameras.
Are you talking about cooking, or are you talking about
I
porn?
was talking about porn.
You should know. You're the expert as being a former filmographer and producer.
How else do you think we got Peter North to back us?
I know. That is our benefactor, Peter North. All right. The turn in the background says, welcome back to the straight red card. Giovanni Reyna to Forest confirmed. The U.S. men's national team fans all rejoice. Will Forest stay up? Will I ever get it up when my wife shits on my chest? Find out tonight. Where are you going to film that?
Very Vince McMahon type of action going on there.
Yeah, no kidding. Michael, that's gross. There's a name for that. What's it called? A Cleveland steamer? Is that what Cleveland? On the chest? Is that what that is? Cleveland steamer? One of the few YouTube chats.
I would say I would look it up, but I'm not putting that in my chat.
Cleveland steamer. Yeah, that's.
What have you been looking up? Nothing. I swear to God, I thought it was a sandwich shop.
I don't know. It's a vacuum, isn't don't Cleveland make vacuums? And they also make a steamer. I believe they do. All right. I'm just kidding around. Fumar says, one of the few YouTube chats worth a damn. Thank you. We really appreciate that, Fumar. For us, this is just a fun time. This is like what we would probably talk about at the bar while we were drinking. Probably not the porn stuff. And watching a game together, like in the old days. But and that's what we try to bring to this show. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun. All right. That's way too much sentimental shit. All right. We got big stuff ahead of us, Brett. What do you got?
Got some soccer fluff too before we get into the actual topic.
Soccer fluff.
At least we're easing in early, guys. It's 10 minutes in. We're into soccer already.
Yes. Well, we did talk about Nasser and Inter Miami. So there you go.
Sure, good point.
Me in the box. What an absolute unit. What the hell? Me in the box. What an praying this is a soccer reference. I hope so too. Because that's yeah, that looked painful. All right.
I mean, so Derek, if you had to take one person on the basketball court, and it was you're going to place a bet on them to win the match.
Okay, one-on-one.
Claudio Reyna versus Greg Berhalter. Who do you think would win?
I'd say Greg because he's taller, but that's not always tall. Isn't always, the predicting factor. So, but I'd still probably pick Greg because the ball is bounce passing and how much he brags about it.
That's a great point. You think he would be great at that game?
Yeah, because he brags about it constantly.
He can't pass himself, though. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh, my God. Breaking in 2002, Claudio Reyna told the Central New Jersey Home News that he beat Greg Berhalter on one-on-one basketball 4,000 straight times. That's hilarious. During a high school summer vacation, Reyna brought Berhalter to his grandmother's house in Buenos Aires, Argentina. During a high school summer vacation, they played pickup soccer with Reyna's relatives, and the Yankee in town held his own. Given a choice, they'd rather play one-on-one basketball. Reyna estimated they've had 4,000 games, and despite Berhalter's 3-inch height advantage, he never beat me once. Wow, that's interesting. That says a lot, and that's an old article, right? Where that
2002.
That's while they're still buddies. So it's crushing him already before his wife tried to crush him again, but different way. All right.
What do we got next? What do we got next?
Okay. Drum roll.
We've got some serious talk now.
Okay. Really?
Your serious face.
Already? Okay. I mean, that's like the Bobby Knight quote. Wait, I'm supposed to put on my game face? What's that?
Yeah.
Remember when he did that? You want me to put on my game face? What the hell does that even mean?
Ooh.
Game face? What the hell's that?
Umar says, hit the like buttons, fellas.
Yes, we'd appreciate that. Likes do help. The algorithm later on. All right, what you got, Brett?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't have it up.
All right. Kyle Bond.
The bonfire.
We used to have that guy used to be a friend of ours. He used to came on our show once. The fire with Fierstein fire. I can't remember. Anyhow, was on our show a long time ago. Let's see. As part of this discussion, I asked Nelson Rodriguez about how they view the future of the Leagues Cup and their vision for the U.S. Open Cup. Full quote below. You want me to read that whole thing? Okay. Open Cup competitions around the world have a standing and a history and a status, Rodriguez said to Sporting News. I say this with respect, and I hope it comes across that way. I just think it needs to evolve. The evolution is based on standards. It's based on investment. MLS and Liga MX invested a lot in this tournament in prize money, broadcast, stadiums, field, branding, promotion. So there's room for things to coexist, but there has to be a willingness to reimagine and work together.
Do you want to pause and hit this one at a time, or you want to just cover it all?
I mean, that sounds everything.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what he says there.
It's reasonable. When asked if the Leagues Cup is their vision of the new evolution of the U.S. Open Cup, Rodriguez told the Sporting News that while he wouldn't go that far, the Leagues Cup certainly reflects the type of innovations they hope the U.S. Open Cup can be open-minded about. Okay. All right. I would say it's an evolved form of a tournament. It's not the evolved form. I'm not prepared to say that, Rodriguez said, but it came through an iterative process, a lot of planning, a lot of subsequent investment, and some serendipity for sure. I like to think that the Leagues Cup and the U.S. Open Cup can coexist, that the history of the game can be honored, but we shouldn't be shackled to it. Jesus Christ, that's a long fucking thing to read, Brett.
So, ultimately, again, we can nix the whole first topic because, again, yes, U.S. Open Cup needs to improve on all those things: broadcasting, stadiums, fields, branding, etc. I mean, we had Garber come out and talk about it. Well, we can't expect these MLS teams, these teams who are used to these pristine fields, to play on this goat patch over here.
High school football field.
You know, so he already Harry bashed, despite the fact that he was on the board and was actually help organizing, or constructing this tournament for like the last decade and a half.
This guy here, Rodriguez?
No, Garber.
Oh yeah.
No, Garber. But, Rodriguez is a mouthpiece right now. But he talks about it wouldn't. It's not the evolution of where U.S. Open Cup should be, or how they should interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
If you recall, maybe a month ago or so, U.S. Soccer told MLS to shove one up their dwarfs,
right,
by not allowing them to play their U23 next pro teams,
right. What a joke.
In their place.
Mm-hmm.
So, it ultimately the big thing here is they talk about it takes a lot of time of planning, investments, some serendipity for sure. All this stuff. What's the planning that's involved here? Well, we gotta set aside 1 month for all the Mexican top flight teams to come up here to the United States and play each of the MLS teams, and it's a tournament stuff. Where's the planning involved there? Outside of just scheduling,
it's not comparable because MLS and Liga MX's put their whole seasons aside for a month to do this. I guess what you could do is tell every fucking soccer team in the United States, which is ridiculous, to put aside another month. But you know what? MLS doesn't want to put aside any time. They don't want to put aside 2 days for Open Cup, U.S. Open Cup. So they're not really comparable animals. And there's so many more teams that start off. I guess what you could do is whittle it down to 64 teams or whatever. And once you get to the final 64, then you play a tournament, or the final 32 and you play like a really brief style tournament. That's going to take up more time. And MLS doesn't want anything to do with U.S. Open Cup extending their roster's potential to injury any further than they already do.
I mean, it's not like MLS has to start from the very first round of the U.S. Open Cup.
No, they
obviously don't. All the amateur teams play each other, and they go up to the championship one in ISL, all that shit. They play each other, and then they go up to the USL championship, and all those teams face each other. Then MLS starts jumping in there. They play all that. What the MLS is in there for like 4 games, maybe 5 at most if you win the fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a silly thing, and everybody's talking about it. MLS doesn't own U.S. Open Cup. They can't profit off of the way they can with the League's Cup.
Right.
So they don't want any major part of it at this point.
Right. So you can't, this guy's like being asked to compare the two. You can't do it. They're totally two different animals. And the only way you could make U.S. Open Cup more special, I guess, is like the losers have to strip naked and run around the field after they lose. I don't know what you do, but that's a whole lot of words to say a lot of nothing. Amen, Long Mom Morn. That is absolutely fucking true. And I can't believe I read that whole thing. I'm gonna strangle Brett later after the show.
I want this to be a video on YouTube that we can actually monetize. So I wanted it to have some length in there. So
Jesus fuck. But I hope not.
But I mean, one cup is strictly just MLS and Liga MX.
Yeah.
And the other cup is everyone in the United States.
And my
one
cup
can't replace the other. It can't.
And my cup, I haven't worn my cup for years. So
my cup on a daily basis.
That's a different cup. And then there's another cup I used to drink, but it's not the one I put near my ball sack. All right, let's move on.
I wanted to pull this up because Cranks ended up posting this. He says MLS Cup prize money goes up every year. Every round you advance from 20K, 47K, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. 150,000 or for runners up and 300,000 for winning. He had totaled it up. All right, so you're looking at you get 467,000 if you win MLS Cup. Well, U.S. Open Cup chimed in. It says no. Winning it, you get 300,000, and the runner-up gets 150K. But that's the same amount, almost the same amount of money that you get for winning the U.S. Open Cup and coming runners-up in that one as well.
Yeah.
So you can't even use the excuse of the prize money right there. Prize money is almost identical.
Yeah. I mean, they just don't want to be a part of it. MLS.
Yeah. I mean, they can't profit off of the TV rights, and that's where the money's going to come into effect. Yes, the League's Cup's going to draw on more views than Open Cup, 100% guaranteed. The amount of Mexican American families in the United States, and I'm sure the broadcasting rights in Mexico are going to draw in more money than U.S. Open Cup ever will.
Yeah, I mean, we beat this horse on another show. I don't know which one it was, but it was when it happened and it was announced. And yeah, I mean, it's a shame that Don Garber still serves on the board at U.S. Soccer when it's really obvious he doesn't give a fuck about U.S. Soccer at all. That's just MLS. That's it. And that's his job. That's why he was hired. Yeah. So why he's on the board, I guess because they have to have a rep there from MLS because they're the biggest league. But, I mean, the guy's selfish and he's getting paid to be selfish. $300K per player or shared pool for all players, question mark? I think it's shared.
I would have to imagine it's shared.
Yeah, it's
you'd be looking for a winning team. You have a roster of 30 players. Or, I mean, let's just assume it's the 23 game day or whatever.
Everybody gets.
You're looking at. Yeah, I'm thinking. That, I don't know.
And I think the teams break it down based on you have to play in the actual tournament.
Yeah,
to get money.
It didn't specify in that tweet, so I have no idea. I can't say one way or the other, but.
Yeah,
it was definitely, and U.S. Open Cup's chimed in there. It's definitely alluding to the fact that the prize money itself is almost identical. So I don't know. Maybe this is
one topic I did not think we were going to talk about today. All right,
I was coming across it. I'm like, ooh, another one. Ooh, another one. Ooh, another one.
I can't believe any people are still complaining about it. Once U.S. Soccer put it to bed, they basically said, Don Garber, fuck you. You and your teams are playing in this. It's part of the contract. It's a part of the agreement of being certified by the federation. Suck it and suck it up. And that's it.
I never understood why this was an issue because all MLS has to do is change their roster rules. And they can say bring in you can bring in academy or U23 or academy players or whatever you want to bring in for the US Open Cup. They can make those rules themselves. I don't think there's any rule in the bylaw saying it has to be your 30-man roster.
I mean, you got a 30-man roster. You're really only playing a rotation of 15 different players throughout the season.
Yeah.
There's plenty of bench guys you should be able to put on
the minutes.
The pitch. You need the minutes and are younger or whatever. Let them play the U.S. Open Cup. And that's what most teams do at the beginning of the Cup. Now, as they get deeper in the tournament, they play less and less of the backup guys. But that's how it works everywhere in the world. That's how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're gonna lead into this one because I don't know exactly what this is.
Well, as you can see from the headline, this is why American soccer commentary will never be taken serious. This is, and I've been watching the Asian Cup, by the way. Crazy game between South Korea and who the hell was that? Saudi Arabia? I can't even remember now. I just watched it. And these guys are going to be talking, and they're paid to do this. Like CBS has had this contract. They knew they were going to be CBS, covering the Asian Cup, and not a single person on this panel knows anything except for one about any of the teams playing in the Asian Cup. So they've known for a year they've had this contract, and these motherfuckers. And if you know Maxwell very well, he is a big follower of the Vietnamese team because of his heritage. And so he's been watching the whole Asian Cup thing, and he watched this and he just nearly shit a brick. And he'll show you why in just a second.
Finish second. They will have to play South Korea in the round of 16 if Korea wins. South Korea wins their group.
Is that a rivalry?
Is that a rivalry?
No.
Those are two favorites.
Sure, but I mean culturally.
Not sure. I mean, in Asian football, yes.
How do you know that?
Source the masses.
Because
how do you know that? All right, Brett. If you didn't even know anything about the soccer rivalry between Korea and Japan, at least if you fucking went to middle school and took middle school history, you would know there's a fucking rivalry between South Korea. Yeah, this is great. Look, South Korea and Japan. A, they neighbor each other. B, they were annexed. Korea was actually annexed by Japan, I think, in early 1900s, right? So, and there's all kinds of catastrophic things that happened during that annexation. And that rivalry continues to this day. There's a bitterness between the two countries. So this guy is covering these. Nobody knows there's a rivalry between Japan and Korea.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Yes.
Well,
good point, Chris Gary. Come on, nobody talks about Japan's war crimes. Exactly.
I mean, even if you take away the history in its own right, I mean, just over the course of the last couple decades, I mean, they've been the two big contenders of the area.
Exactly. They are the best two teams.
Take the horrible crimes of the past out of the equation. Just take it into soccer stands here.
They played each other like 80 times. Yeah. I mean, of course it's a fucking rivalry, and yes, a cultural rivalry as well. I mean, how do you not know that and host the show? And that's what Maxwell says. You can play his reaction. I think it's hilarious.
Not sure. I mean, in Asian football, yes.
How do you know? Source the masses and find out.
It's teams.
He's source the masses to find out.
Is this the big?
You're the pundit. Aren't you supposed to know this kind of stuff? Okay, like if we just take that away for a second, like maybe I don't know too much about the show to be honest, but like let me just ask this question real quick, okay? Did you go to high school?
That's it. All right.
Perfect timing. I realize that I'm on a different account here, so that's why we're getting an advertisement here. I need to switch over on the other ones real quick.
Right. Go ahead and run that because we got one other spot to play that I think is hilarious.
Crap. Hold on. I'm going to have to go back now because I just closed out of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's one other spot. He picks out the Cooligans guy in particular, and I have nothing against the Cooligans. They're fine. But, if you're going to be hired to come on the show, you got to know something about the teams that you're talking about. And the next part, I believe, is the part where she asked the panel, is this the biggest win in Iraq's history? And of course, what are we at? Quarterfinals, semifinals at this point? She asked if it's the biggest win in Iraq's history. Maybe she wasn't around in 2007 when Iraq, went as far as they've ever gone. They won the gut. And she doesn't know about 2007, but it was all over the news at the time because remember the United States, we were occupying Iraq at the time, and there were like all kinds of crazy shit, bombs going off, terrorist bombs, battles in the streets, gunfighting going on. And yet the Iraqi national team, with all that going on, did what they did in 2007, but she doesn't even know that. That's how
what's the timestamp again?
You got to do 3:30. You got to do some fucking research, man, before you host a show on the thing your network's carrying. It's crazy. Go ahead.
Larry says, do a little wiki while on the toilet.
Or something. Make some effort to cover the only
in South Korea
rivals. Yeah, I mean, it's not like there are many teams left either to research. Like all the other teams got knocked out in the group stage, so you're only left a handful of them to research, right? Go ahead, play.
Yeah,
Maxwell's awesome.
Get better, right?
Is this the biggest win for Iraq in their history?
I don't know if they're
No.
The biggest win in Iraq's history, no. Oh my God, this is the most basic info. How do you not know this? You're covering the fucking tournament. Iraq, 2007 Asian Cup. That is the most basic thing. That is literally, you just look it up on Wikipedia. Title winners from the past however long in the Asian Cup. Boom.
Whoa, you're saying they won?
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is that you're covering it. And, I'll at least give Alexi Lawless this much. When he's covering the Women's World Cup, he does fucking research. Like he'll talk about, well, in 20 so, England went this far and blah, blah, blah. And he'll give you context.
In 2023 wasn't it? Ferreira was our number 2 striker.
I know. Well, with that, he must be told to bullshit. He must be told to bullshit.
Pander.
Because obviously the other guy's covering The friendly most recently did not pander.
Mhm.
They're like, this is a C squad or a D squad. So let's not get worked up about it. That was our boy Beasley. All right, that's all. I just thought Maxwell gets some credit for, and I don't know if that's why you shouldn't take American soccer commentators seriously, because they're not all bad. And he goes on to say, actually, the guys calling the games are really knowledgeable when they're calling the games. They provide context. But this group of four numbskulls, and that's basically what he says. Don't want to lump Charlie Davies in there because at least Charlie was saying, of course it's a rivalry. Of course. What do you mean? Well, the other guys, but is it a cultural rivalry? No, they all eat the same food. They all look the fucking same. What the fuck, dude?
It's like, hey, you want to get Japanese? And he goes, I already told you I don't want Mexican. He goes, those are two totally different places. He goes, weird meats, same on rice, same thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No. Yeah. I mean, there's tons. And then there's conflict throughout their whole history, too. We go back to the age of the samurai, like way back. There are continuous wars between these two. I mean, it's just unbelievable that people wouldn't know some basic shit about fucking Japan and Korea.
Surely the Japanese and the Chinese are great friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you would know, like, all those people don't like each other for various historical reasons. Now, on a human level, one-on-one, I'm sure they could find a way to get along if you put them all in the same room and let them talk. But, I mean, as a rivalry, hell yeah, they're rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason China's not a rival in men's soccer is because they're fucking awful at it. They're garbage. Yeah. All right. Oh, Kevin Paulette, one of our favorites here. In 2024, U.S. women's national team fans are dumb. Lindsay Horan, what's he talking about there? Oh, you guys must have been talking or something before this show.
It was perfect. That was perfect timing because that literally is following up that because we just got done talking about how sometimes pundits can be dumb, and you don't need to take what they say with any form of grain of salt. You just say, "No, that was dumb."
Right.
So,
and then Lindsay has a brand new show, right?
Does she?
She has a brand new show. I can't remember who. Was it Fox or CBS or I don't know, but she's going to have her own podcast. I know that much.
Huh.
So yeah,
That's aware of this.
Life after. Yeah, she was on the Herc and Seb show. I can remember that it was a week ago. Brett met me in Delphi. Had a good time before the show. Little reach around action there.
We played a little bit of war.
Right. Okay. You didn't have a sword fight?
No. He was the South Koreans. Those Japanese. No.
What are you saying?
Throwback.
I know you're not going to make dick jokes now. All right.
Very small.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. No.
You Americans. Very big. Very big.
Oh, thank God this is a comedy show. All right.
I mean, you can't get in trouble for quoting South Park. I mean, that was like 15 years ago.
I know, but I don't think they could do that now.
I don't know, man. I feel like there are some people that are just grandfathered into getting away with whatever the fuck they want. And it's usually by the creators who don't care. And that's exactly what the South Park creators are. They're like, yeah, that's funny. We'll go and say that.
Who was the original creator of South Park? I can't remember.
It's
not Seth Greenberg. It's
it's a little hard to tell before I get to it.
Somebody over there, but yeah, I wonder if he's become as diluted as
Trey and Matt. Thank you. Yeah, Matt and Trey and Matt. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I knew somebody was gonna get it. Barker. Yeah.
I'm sure they have not, based on their humor, continuous humor.
Yep.
Not sold out their brains to the establishment media like a certain someone.
It's hysterical. It's hysterical because as things in life, there'll be news coming out about this. It's about something, something that's crazy that's happening right now. But you can go back 3 years and South Park fucking predicted it.
Yeah.
It's hysterical how that it's almost like they're Nostradamus, just predicting the future. It's gonna happen. As ridiculous as this episode is, it'll happen.
They don't have their heads jammed up their ass like a certain Seth MacFarlane. Anyhow, let's move on to Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Yeah, great show. Always kept it fresh. Unlike the new Ted.
Basketball was a great movie. Team America.
That was fun. That's fun.
South Park movie was great.
South Park's just been great for years. All right, Lindsay Horan, what is she saying here?
Well,
no video?
No, it's all article.
Oh boy.
So yeah, she has some takes as far as various things.
Okay.
It is a wide range of things that are occurring. It ranges from being professional before and on and off the field. It has to do with not necessarily listening to what the pundits say or what some fans might say. And she's got some choice words about everybody. So,
All right. Individual players can bear the brunt of that magnifying glass just as much as the team can. There's a clear, though understandable vein of frustration from Horan over how her own performances are understood, even from U.S. women's national team fan base. To illustrate the point, Horan brings up how that many viewers will take television commentators' analysis as at fact value. Some do. Face value. Sorry. American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart, she says. They don't know the game. They don't understand. But it's getting better and better. Yeah, I mean, there is a giant portion that watch the women's national team that aren't normally soccer fans on a regular basis. They're there to support the team. That doesn't mean they know the game. It's like I was a Big Red once trying to buy liquor, and there were two guys that were watching the Women's World Cup at the time, which is back in I don't know what year it was, 21? No, must have been 19. And they were having this conversation like, yeah, the women are really good. I think they could beat the men's team. I'm like, hey, listen, I just overheard your conversation. The women's team lost. No, I couldn't help myself. I said they lost to the youth squad at Dallas, this women's team that you're watching, that you're supporting, and I'm glad you're supporting them. But let's
a lot of very talented kids on the U15 squad, or I think it was 15 or 16, whatever it was.
No, I think it was U15s. Yeah.
Well, the academies in MLS are 16 and 18, so it would have been U16, but they're probably predominantly all 15-year-olds.
Probably, yeah.
So there were a lot of good players on that Dallas team.
This is such a broad statement by her end that I'm not sure what to say about it.
It's funny because
giantly broad. I mean, like, okay, one thing it does compare to, Brett, is my brother and several of my friends texting me during the whatever tournament that was, Gold Cup tournament last time when Fox and Lawless and everybody were basically making Ferrer into a hero and saying, not mentioning or providing any context at all, that this was a C squad or a D squad, and trying to bolster the tournament up like this was our A team. And my brother wrote me, he's like, where the hell's Pulisic? I guess he's not that good. He didn't make the A team. He didn't make the team, the Gold Cup team. I said, no. This is not the A team. Yeah. This is like a fucking C team or a D team. Then my friend Daniel wrote me the same thing. And I have my mom text me. She's like, what the fuck? Where are all the good guys? Like, provide some fucking context or shut your fucking mouth. So, yeah, if people believe that, but all the people that did that are casual fans. I think most of us watching who weren't casual fans knew that about the Gold Cup. But the problem is majority or a good percentage of people watching every game are casual fans. They're there because it's the only thing on right now. And they're watching this U.S. team at the Gold Cup thinking, we're awful. Well, that's not our team. But no one will tell you that's not our team. So,
I get it. Of all my friends and family who end up watching games, there may be like 1% of them that actually follows the sport with any form of a magnifying glass, to steal her phrase here. As far as why players aren't there, who are these players? This is an MLS tournament because all the Europeans played in the Nations League and now they're back at preseason.
Yep.
It's why Greg's the new coach. Why isn't he coaching?
All
those questions are there, but they don't ask them because they don't know any better.
Right. It's like that party that I went to with you at your friend's house, right?
Yeah.
Those are all soccer fans, but are
they?
World
Cup game, by the way, guys.
Exactly. So the World Cup game, and it was a party.
And could have been taken any other way, Derek.
But yeah, it's a World Cup party,
Yeah.
and we were watching the game, and Brett and I were talking about all this details and tactics and shit, and they were probably looking at us like, "What are you fucking talking about?"
Some of them were like, "Yeah, I like the white jerseys we got on."
Yeah, I mean,
You like those?
they were there for the World Cup, man. They don't watch
exactly.
they don't watch MLS. They don't watch the Premier League. A lot of them do casually, maybe, or have one team they watch or follow, but they don't know the game. And yeah, so casual. I would call that a casual fan.
Yeah.
I think that there's like, you're a casual fan, and then there's finally this line that you cross into like a knowledgeable fan. And that takes a long time to get there, and a lot of passion and a lot of, give a shit. And not a lot of people cross that line, because the spectrum for being a casual fan is gigantic. And to jump over the line to become a knowledgeable fan takes a lot of love and passion, and give a shit and following the news, and then not just buying everything that the mainstream press, soccer press, shovels at you. Because if you do that, then you're going to be totally fucking misinformed. Absolutely misinformed. You'll think that Raina blackmailed somebody. You'll think the A team played in the Gold Cup. There are all kinds of things you'll believe. You'll think Ferreira's our best striker. All right.
Dude, one of the videos we'll get to later with Raina, and it's not in that video, but one of his most recent videos. This is a Nottingham Forest fan channel that covers the news for Forest. Even he brought up if you believe in the talk from the news around Raina, you'd believe that his parents blackmailed the national team coach because Raina wasn't getting enough playing time. And I'm like, oh my god, there's so much to unpack there. And
I know.
Looking at that, no, stop it.
I know, and it's so frustrating because the guy who wrote the original article, Jeff Carlisle, never made an official retraction on air. Never made a retraction on the article. He just edited the article fucking 5,000 times. And by the time he fixed all the things he fucked up, everybody had already read it in its first form. So everybody, that blackmail shit went out international.
Most people just read the title of the article.
Yep.
Done.
And
what happened? Who's up?
And you know what? We don't. People are, and this is one thing Seth MacFarlane said earlier. Well, when the mainstream media make mistakes, they have to post a retraction. No, they fucking don't. Dumbass. Where have you been? If that's been the case, there are thousands of soccer articles that got shit wrong constantly, and they never fucking fix it. They never post a retraction. Jeff Carlisle never went on Herc and Seb's show and say, hey, I kind of fucked up. I shouldn't have written the blackmail part. Yeah, that was bad, and I totally
This
received
information
it.
passed down to me by my sources at USSF.
Right, exactly. He should have admitted it. Yeah.
So,
but he didn't, and the media don't do that because it's a race to get the story out first. It's not the race to be correct. That's not what they're here for. They're here to sell you shit, and they can't sell you shit if they're the last one doing the story, and everybody else has already broken the news. But go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
Yeah, so Nick says Lindsay was the first guest on Sam Mewes, the Women's Game podcast on YouTube channel.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what you were thinking of. Maybe she's not having her podcast, or maybe she was she was the first guest on a podcast.
No, she was on Herc and Seb show last week sometime and announced that she had a show coming out.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funny thing is when this article came out on Twitter, it was a picture of her, and this quote right here is like, most of American soccer fans are not smart. Or American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart.
I wouldn't say smart. That's not, if I'm wrong, I'm not saying smart.
Well, of course she goes into more detail about it all, but it's like that's what got pushed. And this is the whole, similar to the whole blackmail thing. Yes, if you just look at that quote by itself, standalone, it sounds worse. Because I even respond and go, that's endearing to the fans.
Right.
But I when you read the article and stuff, like, you kind of get what she's getting at here.
But you have to read the article because the headlines, the headlines already fucked you up, right? The headlines already telling you she thinks you're stupid.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's what it sounds like.
And that's not what she's saying. The word she probably used is ignorant. Not they aren't smart.
Novices. How about that?
There are a lot of smart people, including some of your friends who have big time jobs, are obviously really smart, but they don't know the sport. They're just ignorant of the
They're
sport.
fucking morons.
No, they're not morons. They're smart people who haven't done the homework because they're not interested in doing the homework. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not requiring everybody to know the game of soccer. My wife was listening across the room and said that Brett sounds like Ray Romano. He gets that a lot.
I do get that a lot. Yeah,
Kermit the Frog.
I do hear when I listen back. I hear the Kermit the Frog thing actually more and more. Now you put that in my mind, I can hear it all the time.
Yeah, Kermit. I'll finish this quote here. I'm going to piss some people off. Piss off some people, she continues, but the game is growing in the U.S. People are more and more knowledgeable, but so much of the time people take what the commentators say, right? My mom does it. She breaks into laughter. My mom says, Julie Foudy said, you had such a good game. And I'm here just going, I was fucking shit today. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of apologists out there covering the game. And yeah, she knows she had a bad game, but Julie Foudy's going to go on. And now, okay, Julie Foudy's the wrong person to pick because I don't think she's a big bullshitter. But there are other people out there that will cover for the players.
There could be one of those things where you kind of sugarcoat it to an extent.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I will say, obviously, her mom wasn't listening to the Fox broadcast because Lawless and who am I spacing? The new chick on Fox. What's her name? Former player.
Don't remember.
But yeah, they were not even low key bashing the U.S. Women's National Team that cup, and of course they kind of deserve it too. It wasn't a great performance.
Yeah, so I mean, there are times there is honesty for sure. Yeah. I'm not saying they're fucking lying to you, 99% of the time, because they're not. And I think Lawless generally, when he's upset, he lets the team have it. But he did go and give that Gold Cup team so much extra cover. It's really it was so disappointing throughout the coverage. I mean, I just didn't expect that kind of blowhardness from him the whole way through. I thought at some point he would go, you know what? This team's not very good. I kind of imagine Pereira coming on to the broadcast at halftime and saying, Lawless, quit already come twice. It's not happening anymore. Stop it. Yeah, exactly. Jesus.
It was Carly Lloyd. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Carly Lloyd. Yeah, I love Carly Lloyd. Yeah. There's a gal who doesn't bullshit anybody. Mm-hmm. No one. Not just because I'm related to her. All right, Fallen Phoenix.
It was Fallen Phoenix who said Carly Lloyd.
Oh, okay.
I was bringing it back up because I clicked on and clicked right off of it. It was like 2 seconds.
Right.
I just wanted to give credit to who came up first.
All right. Well, we got a lot of more to cover. So, what do you want? Do you want me to do?
I got two more. I got two more quotes here. They talk about something else that's also important with this last tournament.
If you're not backing it up on the field, people are gonna come and talk shit about what you're doing, where your priorities are. She says, like, are you getting ready for the game? Are you caring more about this shit? I'm not sure I understand that quote.
Okay, so do you not remember some of the pregame shenaniganries that were occurring with the U.S. Women's National Team, like the fashion show and all that?
Yeah.
Lloyd had a mouthful about that.
Good, I'm glad she did.
and here we are talking. She's talking about it too, like, hey guys, I want this to be professional, and I think it's coming up here in the next quote too. But she's like, hey, are you guys taking this seriously? What is this stuff?
Yeah. Are you getting ready for the game by doing your fashion show before the game? Really? Oh. Is that what we're going to do? Like, really? We're going to do a fashion show. Like, are you ready? I'm so special. I do Subway commercials. Like, I'm so awesome. All right.
Just read the last quote.
I want professionalism, she admits. Those little things, they really irked me. I'm glad she's saying that. I don't think I could do it. And maybe I'm wrong in saying that. I don't know. It just bothers me. We put so much into this game, and it's just like a joke sometimes. Oh, she and Carly Lloyd are on the same page.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that they are. And this is what I tell my brother this, right? Because my brother's like, I'm not watching the women anymore because all those players hate the United States. I'm like, dude, no, they don't. They don't. They don't all hate the United States.
They don't all.
Give me a fucking break, dude. I'm sure. Well, she's like, I didn't see any of them. Maybe 2 of them singing during the national anthem. I'm like, dude, they're getting ready for a game. That's not what you base this on. Listen, I bet you there's a bunch of great gals on this team, but they can't speak up until they retire. And you're not going to hear from them because they don't want to cause any angst in the locker room because there already is some angst in the locker room based on all the reports we had that things fell a shit because there were certain players who wanted to get more prominence and stand out than everybody else. And I can name you the handful, but I'm not going to bother here. And it's been named in the media already, so I don't really need to do that again. But Carly Lloyd has come out now. Haran said the same thing, and it's just pleasing to hear because it's got to be professional. Do the Subway commercials, do your commercials, whatever you got to do, to bolster yourself, make money. But when it comes to the game, man, get your fucking head in the game. Rapinoe is gone, so they're letting the chopper sing. I guess, but I was always told there were a good group of the women on that team who did not like her attention seeking at all, and they just couldn't say anything about it. A number
of them just didn't want to have to deal with it.
I mean, what we put up with that in the men's team, like some prima donna who wants all the attention in the team. Like wants to be the superstar and everybody else should take a back seat to that person. We got a player like that, but he doesn't act like that. The guy is not a prima donna. His name's Pulisic. He's just the best player on our team. And Rapinoe wasn't even the best player on this team. Yet she wanted all the color, all the limelight, all the shine. She wanted all the shine. She wanted to share the shine, except with maybe one or two of her buddies. Jack Pineda, I wish some of the fucking men would say that shit. Yeah, better for them, Jack, just to stay the fuck out.
They're not dipping their toe in that at all.
Just let us say it. All right. But anyhow,
you want half the winnings, whatever. I don't care. I'm make more of it in my club, I guess.
I know Rapinoe was on the team. I still supported the women's team because I knew that, there were good people on that team. And I wanted to support the team for them.
It was difficult.
It was not easy for some. And my brother, even though he said he wasn't going to watch it anyhow. So
I don't think I've watched a game in the last 5 years. I may get back into it. Maybe we'll cover it. I don't know.
You got kids. You're busy. You don't have time to watch games that, don't have to do with this show. You barely have time to watch some of the games for this show.
Well, I mean, I watch all the USA games.
I barely
have enough time to watch 13 games like you, apparently.
I mean, Yanks abroad games. Yeah. So, all right. What else we got? Chris Gary, Cleveland Steamer Cleaning Services. See, I knew they existed.
Can you imagine they'd have to have it out there? Like you're a cleaning service in Cleveland, and you're like, come on, the joke writes itself. I've got to do it.
I know, but the logo should be a big pile of shit. Honestly,
then picking it up or sweeping it away.
Sweeping it away or sucking it up in a vacuum, whatever it is. But that's awesome.
They got a 4.7 out of 95 reviews, so they're pretty good at what they do.
Someone should maybe do a super chat on Pete's show about and ask him if he has any advice about steaming services in Cleveland.
We need to clip all these, man. We need to clip them.
Pete's gonna hate us, dude. He's gonna fucking hate us.
I'm sorry. Did you get another $5 because we put a joke on your show? Oh, nerds. Hey, Pete, if you're watching this, you can convince anybody on your chat to come and super chat us a joke, and we'll absolutely roll with it. 100%.
We'll roll with it, absolutely. But that dude has no time left in his life to watch our show. It's like we barely get a chance to watch their shows anymore. When we first getting started, we had more time, but we don't have time for that.
We both watched Tax Show.
Well,
recently.
Yeah, we did watch that. Which one was that? For a good reason.
About Raina.
Oh, about Raina. Yeah. So I watched that one, but that was short. I can watch that. I can't watch their long form ones.
That's a great point. Our show is like 2 to 3 hours. So I mean,
I know we're hypocrites.
It's a tough pull, I'm sure. We're watching our 2.5 to 3 hour shows twice a week, guys.
It's like when I said, I'm not watching fucking an hour's worth of Lawless. What the fuck is he? Is he crazy? And then I'm like, God damn, I'm kind of a hypocrite. We do 2-hour show. All right, what else we got?
We got your favorite segment of the show, Derek. Let's
run it.
Here it
comes. Transfer news. Everybody loves that transfer news. But me.
I like how that worked. That was really nice. We really lifted into it.
That was it
yeah,
on
it was good. You, as always, you missed the first transfer news because you're clicking the button.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. But you know what? Not too bad.
It's my DMX. That was my DMX background. You know, transfer news, transfer news. Everybody love that transfer news, me. All right. Valencia has closed the signing of U.S. U19 prospect Rodrigo Neri from Atletico Madrid. Neri will sign in the next few hours and will reinforce Valencia Juvenil A. Juvenil A. That's their juvenile team, which I know that's the word for youth. But, you know, in our country, the word juvenile means something else. I think
it still means young kid. It just has another meaning behind it. You're like,
right.
that's you're being childish is what that's
exactly. Or you're a juvenile delinquent. Yeah.
But so it all means, that just means you're a young delinquent.
Right.
That's what
exactly.
that means. Yeah.
You're not only delinquent, you're juvenile. This is a Taku, but I think this one we can say it's true. And I say that because I busted his balls on X and said he's like 20% of what this guy says is worth reading. And I guess, you know, read him if you want the 20% that he gets right. Otherwise, he gets a lot of shit wrong. Just warning. What's this? Juvenile.
Need to come up with a segment show where BMR corrects our Spanish.
Yes, J's in Spanish are pronounced like H's, like Jimenez, right? So yeah, juvenile. All right, yeah, that's great news.
Not obviously not much to talk about this. We'll see what happens as he grows up and develops, and see where he ends up.
Yeah, once he's got hair on his balls, we'll start taking it a little more seriously. Right now, it's a little too early.
Yeah, so San Diego.
Sell him to San Diego. He's got hairs on his balls early. Oh my God, the hairiest team in MLS is coming soon.
Look, it's our friend Charlie.
Hey, Charlie Kelman. I wondered why I hadn't seen him for a while. Signs with League One side, Wigan Athletic, on loan from QPR until the end of the season. You have to give QPR credit. They played this kid. All right. They've been playing him. They finally said, all right, we played you a lot. We gave you 20 minutes here, 15 here, 10 here, 20 here, 15 here, 5 here, and you didn't do anything. So now you're going to Wigan, and let's see if you
can
get
the Paxton treatment. Apparently,
he's still young.
I mean, this was the Chelsea kid, right?
No,
which one was this one? Who's this? Who's coming then?
He was, I believe, at Reading at one point, but he is he's QPR through and through.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yep. Who's the Chelsea kid I was thinking of then?
He came to MLS and failed. Kyle, what's his face? Kyle, he went to Vitesse for a while, Kyle something, and his coach said, yeah, I'd rather have a player who works than somebody who thinks he's a fucking superstar already. Yeah, and then he came to MLS.
I saw that last name, and I thought that was him. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, Charlie Kelman's center forward. Kyle was a midfielder.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to know. Kyle somebody used to play for.
That's asking a lot.
Chelsea. Kyle somebody came to MLS, didn't work out there. I think he might be in USL now. Charlie Kelman still got time. He's through and through. It's a center forward.
Okay,
but we got some really good center forward news, by the way, from the midweek report, and you know who it's going to be, right?
Kyle Scott. Thank you, Chambers.
You knew somebody knew. Kyle Scott.
I mean, that was asking a lot, man. This is the kid who was in the youth setup at Chelsea, and then just.
And he might have gone to Venlo instead of Vitesse. I know it's a V name, and it didn't work. I just remember reading the report that his coach had it in some Belgian paper, and they were like, "Yeah, this kid's he's a prima donna. I'd rather have somebody that works hard and is less skilled." This is what he said. Mm-hmm. As previously reported, 17-year-old Dino Klapijas had a bad case of Klapijas. Move to RB Leipzig is now done. Fee will be around 3 million euros. The move will see him immediately start with the club's U19 and Youth League, then later join the first team. Then later join the first team is a maybe. That's never a guarantee, dude. His medical results await. You could go play for the youth team for 2 years and never make. You could go from the U19s to the Leipzig 2 team and play 2 more seasons at the Leipzig 2 team and still never, ever make the pitch or be on an 18 for the big boy team. So let's not be premature.
Hopefully it's a better turnaround than Kane Clark did.
Yeah. Well, he probably will.
So this kid, some people might not know the name, and I don't know the name, quite frankly. But this kid did play with the US U16s before, but he's most recently played with Serbia. Is that Serbia?
Cap him now! Holy shit!
Yeah, Croatia. Sorry, it's Croatia.
Oh my God! Dual net.
Croatia's U17s. So
dual net panic. Holy shit! Cap him now. Yeah. All right. We'll see how it
it's
goes.
just something to keep an eye on, I guess.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying what we would hear on somewhere on X. There's somebody who's put this post up and freaked out that.
Let's just see what won't be any closer to join the first team. All right, that's all. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Nope, no dual net panic on that post. Shocker.
Well, we know the Forest picked up a new goalkeeper, and we'll talk about that more in the future here. But man, that'd be like 4 goalkeepers for Forest. No. Horvat's on his way out.
He's done. He's at Cardiff.
Nope.
Oddly
enough, someone pointed this out. He's heading to a team that has another goalkeeper called Matthew Turner.
He might get benched behind him. Who knows? But, the way Turner's been playing, how bad could Horvath have been in practice? Practice? He must have been really bad. Or Turner's just really good in practice, and he chokes on the field.
It seems like some mental gaffes, right?
God.
Like his brain went.
He looks panicked out there. I've never seen Matt Turner look like this until just recently. I've never seen him for a whole season look like he's not so much waiting to excited to be there and play. He is trying not to make a mistake, and there is nothing worse than playing and trying not to make a mistake. You can't. There's no way you can play that way in any sport. Turner needs EFL games. Turner needs a lot. He is scared, Larry. There's something not right with him right now. And
Larry and I had a big conversation about this, and it's possible that it's very possible that EPL is just not Turner's level.
It's possible. I hate to say it.
He's a good shot stopper most of the time. Most of the time.
There are guys who, on the bigger stages, choke. Robert Green being a great example of that for the English national team. Fine club goalkeeper.
Is that the 2010 goalkeeper that led it in Dempsey's goal?
Yes. Made a song. D-Rec made a song, an ode to Robert Green. This is an ode to Robert Green. And because he let Dempsey have a free one there. But the guys at the bigger stage, and this is the big stage for Matt, right? And Matt is choking, and that's too bad.
Yeah. Since Horvath wasn't even 25, he has now joined Carter. Is it permanently?
That's good news. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
He needs a permanent move, and he needs to go down a level to get his confidence back up. Because as we're seeing right now, our starting goalkeeper is sucking donkey balls.
And if you would ever ask me,
now been replaced.
If you would ever ask me that Matt Turner could be a guy who would lose this much confidence, I would have said no way. He just seemed like a guy that was like so focused. But you can see it in his play, dude. He's just scared shitless out there of making an error.
That might be the case right there. It's very much a mental thing because
when
he was with the Revs and he went through Gold Cup and he won a call up to the actual big boy national team because of his performance there. He earned a starting spot over Stefan because Stefan got injured. But then even when Stefan came back, it was a battle for who's going to be playing first because Berhalter likes to shuffle that around for whatever fucking reason.
Right.
And he was going on, and people were like, "Well, he's been playing above his his weight. He's punching above him.
His weight.
Yeah. So maybe it's all catching up to him. Maybe we're finding out what his limit is. His limit is he's a shot stopper. That's about it.
Well, that's not even working out for him now.
It's an interesting topic because Pete got asked a question. He's like, we used to have all these like great goalkeepers, and now we're in turmoil when it comes to our goalkeepers. What happened? And Pete's like, I don't have an answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, maybe here's the solution. Here's a possible answer. What if our development of goalkeepers in this country never changed?
It did,
but the game changed.
Yes, it did.
So we have all these good shot stoppers, but man, if you ask them to play the ball at their feet and play it out, they're like, boot.
It's the one spot Slonina struggles with. It's actually the one spot all of the guys right now struggle with for the most part. Even Stefan's actually probably the best of all of them playing with his feet, and he sometimes makes gaffes. So it's like, you know, how good is Brady with his feet? I mean, he's not bad, but he's not the sweeper keeper that everybody wants nowadays.
But that's the thing, though, is our development as far as how we train goalkeepers at the youth level and on has not changed. And maybe it will change, but hopefully we change with the times and not necessarily 10 years behind the times.
There are a lot of goalkeepers that were awesome back in the 80s and 90s who wouldn't be allowed to play goalkeeper anymore because they were horrible with their feet. And I mean, really, would Howard be considered a top goalkeeper anymore? No, I don't think so, because he's not good with his feet. Nor was Friedel, nor was Casey Keller. The position, as you say, has completely changed.
But I will say this about those three goalkeepers is their confidence never got shook. Howard made mistakes. We pointed them out. Sometimes he got caught off his line a bit too much every now and then.
Yeah, he got up muscled.
But
early on.
His confidence, their confidence, those three goalkeepers never shifted at all. It didn't matter. They were brick walls. They were shot stoppers. They never had to play out of their feet. Could they be playing now? I would think so.
I don't think so. The way the goalkeeper the position has changed. I think if you would have forced them to do that, their confidence would have been shook too.
That's very possible too. Yeah, I guess.
So, I mean, it's hard to say. And I'm just mentioned American goalkeepers. I could go into a list of amazing goalkeepers through history who would have been questionable if you asked them to play with their feet, but are thought of as some of the best goalkeepers in the world at the time in their era. The position has changed. Casey Keller even talks about it. If you asked me to come back and play now, and you played it back to me, I'm still booting it down the field fucking 90% of the time. Fuck that shit. My job's to save the goal. So,
and that's the thing too. I mean, the times have changed, and we as a nation need to adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, our goalkeepers should have the ability to control their feet, anyways. You should never ignore some development. Our offensive players should learn how to defend, because even when they're pressing in the up high or even mid block, they still have to know how to defend on the open field.
Yeah.
So you don't want to miss these pivotal aspects of the game.
They're an extra center back. You're not going to be asked to be as good as John Brooks on a long ball, but you got to be competent. Christopher Ellie says for $5, thank you, brother.
Appreciate that.
You're absolutely right, Brett. We haven't developed goalkeepers that are comfortable using their feet. Yeah. Yep. It's true. And, there are great shot stoppers out there who are going to lose their confidence to the point, because they're being asked to do something they're not good at. Matt Turner's case, where their shot blocking's now in question too. Like even the second goal against him in this last game. Well, the first one went near post through his legs, which, I mean, that's just, you're not allowed to do that. But the second one, God, I swear to God, Matt Turner would have got a finger on that like a couple years ago, at least a finger. He would have been able to he had these cat-like reflexes. Like he could almost guess where the shot was going. He'd be there. He'd be like, damn, that would have been a goal against 90% of the other goalkeepers in the world. He's not even making those saves anymore.
No.
So
that's what his confidence is shot right now.
It's shot.
It's affecting every aspect of his game. So
Yep.
And that's why he's getting replaced.
They did sign last second. Nottingham Forest signed it. Mats Sels. He's Belgian. He's played a handful of times for the Belgian national team. He's currently was at Strasbourg, and he played 19 games for them there this season. So they got somebody, and they spent 18 million on him. Not quite as much as the 10 million they spent for Matt Turner, but they're actually got him for 8 million, and he's probably going to start almost immediately.
How much did they spend for that keeper from Benfica?
I think it was also around 10.
That's what I was like. Man, Forrest has spent some along the lines of, like I said, 24 to 27, but it might be closer to 30 at this point.
It is
on just goalkeepers this season. That's 3 of them too.
Hey, but they shipped off their 5th string goalkeeper. He's got a loan to like League One or something. So,
God.
So Matt Turner, I mean, I hate to say this, but he's turned into Mr. Bungle. Remember that band?
That sells was $5 million.
That's not what I read in Transfer Market.
I'm gonna have to take the Forest fans' opinion on this one, man, until I see otherwise.
Well, I'm just telling you what's on Transfer Market.
Transfer market.
Manuel doesn't usually get those numbers wrong. Talk about the Scorpion was 5'9". Yeah, the Scorpion could play for $2. The Scorpion is not so many people are going to remember, but even in the World Cup, I think he did one of the Scorpion moves, right? Where he'd flip and he'd kick the ball the back of his feet. He'd flip over. What was that guy's name? He was a goalkeeper, South American. Oh, sugar shits. No,
I'm looking up that guy. Here. It was 8 million euros according to the transfer. You're right.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. I guess. I mean, if transfer market's got it down, because I have to imagine it's gonna be right.
Larry, tell us the Scorpion guy's name, and then people go to YouTube and look this guy up. This goalkeeper. This guy's insane. He did this on a regular. Rene Higuita. Look this guy up. He is unbelievable. There also was the Mexican goalkeeper, the little guy who played for Los Angeles Galaxy. Yes, go look him up. That little guy actually would play
for years too,
He would play in the outfield. Sometimes they'd be like, "Okay, we got
straight out of FIFA, man. You just take your goalie and start juking out players." God, the actual recording didn't come out because our audio was fucked.
Oh, that guy was a dick.
We were playing a couple of other players, a couple other groups of people, and there were a couple of them that would just like take their goalie out and try to out dribble the team, get dispossessed, and then as we're countering, he would cancel the game. It just bounced. I'm like, well, that was boring. What the heck?
Because we were winning. Campos. That guy could play any position almost. I mean. He played midfield when he wasn't playing goalkeeper. That tells you everything you need to know. So there have been goalkeepers in the past who were good with their feet. Who is the guy, Real Salt Lake guy? U.S. player, short guy, played for the U.S. men's
Why am I spacing his name?
He was pretty good with his feet too. He was an exception to the rule because he was an outfield player first before he became a goalkeeper. And
starts with an R, right?
Small guy,
Ramondo.
Nick Ramondo,
yeah.
He was pretty good.
I beat you, BMR and Fumar and Chambers.
By
like a millisecond.
Between the two of us, we have some of the worst memories ever.
So there's so much rattling up in here, and I get dumped down because I have young kids. So
liquor. All right, Florian Plettenberg. Paxton Aronson will join the tests. On loan, and that's fine. It's a loan, so the fact that they're in dead last and the absolute worst team in the league shouldn't really make a difference. He should get to play. I mean, it should help him get to play because they're.
I think he will. Come on.
Yeah, he'll play.
I think that's easily his level.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, he plays. He gets some experience and he gets some confidence and goes back. And,
he might start right away.
Yeah, I think.
So,
I do think so. Yes.
Yeah, I think he probably will start right away, and this is good. It'll maybe help him with his confidence a little. But listen, one thing he needs to learn when he goes there, and hopefully this is something he needs to learn that a lot of players do. Mihailovic never learned it when he was in Holland. Take the fucking bull by the horns. Become the best player on the team. Stand out. Show yourself. Don't play like a chicken shit.
Yeah,
because that's what he does when he plays for Frankfurt. He plays like a chicken shit. It's almost like he doesn't want the ball. Like he doesn't get involved. He runs around the field like a chicken with his head cut off. Kind of like his brother.
I think overall with like limited minutes there, he's sort of like if he gets the ball, he just wants to play it safe and then not want to make the mistakes and maybe get some more minutes and build from there. But it kind of works against you when you do that because if you're just playing it safe, I mean, anybody can play it safe.
Yeah, exactly. And with the first few games that he played for Frankfurt, he looked good. Granted, it was 10 minutes, but he got out there and he got involved immediately with the play. He took some chances. He took some shots. And then the more and more.
After the game, his coach was like, quit taking those fucking shots.
Who knows? I mean, but yeah, he ended up playing.
Well, that's a goal scorer.
It's like Mihailovic. Just played it safe while he was there the whole fucking time. Never said, I'm the man. I'm taking the bull by the horns, and I'm going to fucking dribble past this dude and take a shot. Never. Just always easy
Well,
pass off to
The
somebody
big
else.
difference is Mihailovic at least played for a competent team, and he's heading to the bottom of the league. So
I mean, he should be the best player on that team.
he should stand. He should be able to stand out. If he doesn't, maybe an MLS return might be in his future.
Yeah.
So,
Remember, he never really played for Philly much either.
I don't know.
All right. What else? You got more?
Yeah, I got of course I got more.
I got more too. Joe Scally to Transfer Market and our friend Manuel Vith on rumors of him being linked to the Premier League and AC Milan. This is one of Otaku's earlier rumors, wasn't it? That he was interested, all these clubs were interested in him. All players see those rumors if it gives you confidence when you see that other teams want you. But they're rumors, dude.
Well, he goes on talking about it. Don't worry.
So, yes, obviously you see it. There's no hiding on social media these days. It gives me confidence to play better in the next game. But when you play the game, you are not focused on, oh, this team is watching. But you are focused on the match. Right. And it's like none of those teams even approached him, made an offer, made overtures to him, to use the word of the day. Overtures. Nobody made any overtures towards him. Like them ogling him, or that's strong. Them keeping tabs on him doesn't count for shit. And you should know this, Otaku.
To his point, what he's saying is basically, it's the equivalent of a cute girl or a girl saying, "Yeah, you're cute." You may not necessarily hook up with her by any means, but it's definitely a confidence booster. You're like, "Fuck yeah, let's go."
That's not even the equivalent, Brett. You know what it is? It's one of your buddies coming over to you and
she
saying,
thinks you're cute.
"Oh yeah, she's looking at you."
Yeah,
You're
but
like,
still,
really?
it's still a boost. You're starting to,
so then
peacocking it up, and
you
you're
peacock
like,
it
"Let's go."
up, and then you go up to her, and you're like, "Yeah, you want to dance, baby?" And
She's like, "Nah, I'm good."
"No, ew." And then you go back to your friend and go, "Man, I thought you said she was..."
No, in this situation, but then this situation, it's your friend comes up and says she thinks you're cute, and you look over and like, "That's right," and then you go about your day. You don't actually do anything.
No, I'm true, but in reality, she doesn't think you're cute at all.
Sure.
Your friend's just playing a joke on you. Your friend's playing a joke on you. AC Milan has no interest in fucking Joe Scally. Let's be really honest here. All right? Please. Let's come on. Give me a break.
It was funny because in that type of situation, when my friend Chad was just starting to date his now wife,
a
lot of us all went to this one bar, and we're all the guys are at this one table, and the girls were over here, and then finally they met up and everything. And he comes back and he basically tells a friend of mine that he thinks you're cute, and get out there on the dance floor type of thing. And he was like, I never said anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always give her a hard time, and I always say like, yeah, I'm like, I'm your silver medal. You settled for me.
But it gave you confidence to approach her, right? So
no, he wasn't directing that to me though.
Oh, okay.
He's directing it to one of our other friends.
Oh, Jesus. Silver medal. You are.
That's what I said. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay,
like,
now I get it.
I never thought that. Oh my god.
All right. What else we got?
Well, let's start I think the best rumor of this window outside of Raina, of course.
By the way,
we'll get to Raina in a second.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
But let's talk about one of the more fun ones.
Okay.
Because this sort of came out of nowhere initially.
Tom Selleck, Bogart. Don't bogart that joint, my friends. All right, Tom, Mr. Mustache says, breaking news. Blackburn Rovers is finally finalizing a deal to sign U.S. men's national team forward Duncan McGuire from Orlando City. Sources say deal close to $4 million plus 2.5 add-ons. Orlando retained sell-on percentage. Not totally done, but McGuire just departed camp to travel to England. Now it's done. It's done. It was confirmed.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because here's Tom again later saying that
it's
the
collapsed.
deal has collapsed. But McGuire's already on the plane to England, and there's actually pictures of him sitting in some kind of an entryway of a hotel or whatever.
Yeah,
like just sitting there. Like you're thinking like he's waiting for his flight back to Orlando or wherever they're doing their preseason at. Well, but then literally like a couple hours later, Blackburn says, "Hey, welcome, Duncan," and has a whole promo for him.
Yeah.
So what the hell happened there?
What happened was the agent said, "You pulling out of that deal, motherfuckers? No, you aren't. Stick that dick back in and sign the fucking agreement." And they signed it. And now he's there. which is good. This is good for him. I know Pete doesn't like him. Not as a person, doesn't think he's got the skills to pay the bills or whatever. But I think Duncan McGuire has potential.
How many,
all right,
how many goals did he have last season?
A lot. Well, not enough.
14 or something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Maybe 11. Doesn't matter. But, the thing about Pete sometimes, when we talk about center forwards, Pete would fucking hate our homeboy from the day. God damn it. I just forgot his name. McBride. Thank you.
Okay. You said from the day, so I'm going back. I'm like,
yeah. So, McBride didn't have footy skills. He wasn't going to dribble by anybody. But you know what? McBride had an absolute knowledge of his limitations as a player. And so Brian McBride would go out there and do what he knew he could do, which is be in the right place at the right time in the box, be great with his head in the air. He was good at that. And so sometimes to be a great striker, you don't need to be Mr. Goddamn best player in the world. You just need to know your limitations and then be in the right place.
The fact is none of our strikers are perfect everywhere in the aspects of being a striker.
No,
they all have their own little perfections or the areas that they're perfected. Not even perfected, but they excel in.
And they have their imperfections.
Yeah.
And so to be a great striker, you don't need to be the best player. You really don't. You just need to have a great soccer IQ. Some of the best scoring center forwards in the history of the game weren't the most skilled players. Like Brian McBride is not a super skilled guy, but what he did have is a massive soccer IQ, always knew where to be in the right place, was great in the air and great at shielding the ball. And he wasn't a great passer, but he could shield the ball and pop it off to somebody. I mean, he just knew his limitations. So I would say to Pete, don't be so hard on Duncan McGuire already. Let the kid play. Let's see what he can do here at Blackburn. Maybe he isn't the most skilled player, but maybe he'll turn into a great poacher or a great scorer of goals, which just doesn't mean you're the best player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
McGuire's transfer, I can't believe I forgot Brian McBride's name. Talk about brain dead.
I like how I just went through. You're like, going back in the day, I'm just like, I immediately went to McBride. I didn't even pay attention to like some of the other, bigger names from before then. Even, I'm just like,
what threw me for the loop? McGuire, McBride.
I got
so I'm like,
McGuire.
Yeah, I had McGuire still stuck in my head. McGuire's transfer to Blackburn was reconfirmed at 11 p.m. UK time. Yep. So they stuck the cock back in and signed the deal.
You know what? We'll take him. We'll take him. He's here. That's commitment, right?
Yeah. I'm pulling out. No, I'm sticking it back in. All right.
Pull-out game's not nearly as good as it used to be.
Ashton Mook for $10. Thank you, brother. That is almost a meet you halfway in a reach round. Gio Reyna kills it in goal contributions per game started, 49 compared to any of these guys. Domingos, Adoy, all the players on Nottingham Forest, essentially, from 2019 to now across all competitions, should start for sure. There's no doubt he has the skills to start over many of these players.
Yeah.
Will he? I mean, probably not right away, but we'll get into that. Are we talking about Raina?
Yeah. Well, yes, he's coming up next, basically. So you have I think you have another one or two people to talk about, and then we'll jump into Raina here.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, it's just fascinating. He didn't get more time at Dortmund, and this whole scenario would be completely different if Terzic wasn't bitch.
Yes.
If Terzic actually played in the season, he
or
might
is
have even
Mukoku or a lot of the young players he hasn't played this season. Only the English kid is getting any time.
Well, and he's injured now, so we'll get into that in just a second. But yeah, as far as starting immediately, probably not. He'll probably come off the bench at least the first match.
Yes,
is my guess. I mean, he just got there. I mean,
right.
I can't imagine. And plus, as Kumar says here, Reina's not 90 minutes match fit. But he could start and play 60, 70 minutes and then get subbed off. So, but I still think he's too new to the area, too new to the team, that he'll probably just come in off the bench initially.
Oh, yeah. So, I think, he'll get like 20 minutes first game, 30 minutes next game, maybe go 60 in the third game. It'll be something like that. Not exactly. I'm not Nostradamus, but yeah, he's not going to start right away. All right, let's cover the other ones, then we can get to Raina. You got more?
No, that's what I'm saying. Go for it.
Okay, some other announcements to make. Moses Neiman. I know a lot of people were pretty high on him in DC. He signed with Beveren. Well, come back to MLS. Go to Minnesota. Minnesota, yep. He's young. He's like 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Mighton. I know a lot of people were waxing their Dolphins quite ferociously about Alex Mighton when he was playing for Forest in the championship before they got promoted, and then he was loaned out. Well, he's on another loan now from Forest to Port Vale, this time in League One. Like, talk about like a team no one's ever heard of before. Where are you going to go play?
I was waiting for you to tell me the league, because I'm like,
League One in England.
Yeah.
Where are you playing? I play in Port Vale, man. Where the fuck is that? Yeah,
exactly. It's in the water.
It's near water, right? It's based on the name. That's as good as you're going to get. I've never really, I've heard the name, obviously, of the team before, but talk about a team nobody cares about and knows about except for Port Vale.
I feel like that's definitely true here in the States, but maybe not necessarily in England.
Not if you live in Port Vale. And if you live in Port Vale, it's the biggest cock in town, of course. And I'm talking about birds.
Port Vale is in Stoke.
Port Vale is in Stoke-on-Trent. Seems like a lot of people would be Stoke fans then, and not Port Vale fans. It must be like, you know how they have those little enclaves and communities out there, and every little village has a team. So there you go. Even within the bigger city complexes, obviously there are tons of teams in London.
Yeah.
As an example. And that is the only two. Those are the only two that you didn't have that I had. And we already talked about Mats Sales from Belgian international keeper being signed by Nottingham Forest. Robbie Williams is the biggest fan of Port Vale. No shit. Robbie Williams?
I initially read that as Robin Williams. I'm not sure why.
Okay. Robin Williams is...
That's great. That's a great point, though, because it would have had to have been Robin Williams was.
Yes. Robin Williams is no longer with us. Amazing actor.
I don't know why I read that as that.
Also, I have Yanks Abroad, but we got to cover Raina first. There is some amazing news in Yanks Abroad, by the way. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
All right. So let's get to Raina.
Well, no, we'll get to Raina in just a second. It's all part of the same beast here.
Borussia Dortmund and Ajax have reached an agreement. Julian Rickhoff will join Ajax. Borussia Dortmund will receive 2.5 million euros, including bonus payments. And the club will also have a future sell percentage. The guy never played for Dortmund.
19-year-old prospect, and some of the fans weren't very happy with losing him.
No, Terzic doesn't care about the young kids anymore.
This is kind of what I'm going to be building up to here. Yes.
So
it all leads into the loan and eventual sell of Gio as well. So
this is crazy. It's Dortmund's identity, and they're losing their identity, which is developing young players, playing them, and selling them for money, boku bucks. What are we doing?
We had this 19-year-old prospect. We'll sell him for 2.5 mil.
And bye-bye. Yeah, we'll never see you again. And I hope you don't turn anything amazing. Yeah. Because, if you do, we still have the percentage sell on. But
which if you would have excelled at our club, we would have gotten significantly more.
Yeah, I don't get what's going on in Dortmund right now.
I can't say anything about this player itself. All I know is I saw he's a 19-year-old player, and some of the fans on the comment section were sitting there going like, "Oh, I can't believe we were getting rid of this guy."
I guess I'm not surprised. Not with Terzic in power, if you will. Henry Balank will move to Salzburg. The transfer fee, including bonus payments, will be 7 million euros. Dortmund were actually looking to extend his contract, but the player was desperate to leave because he wasn't getting any playing time.
Again, another 19-year-old player.
Yes. There was a time at Dortmund, 19-year-olds got to play.
Excel.
And excel.
Holland and Reina's big season, I think, were their 19-year-old years. Or maybe it was 18-year-old, but still.
Yep.
Good Lord.
Yep. Well, hey, they're fucking themselves, I guess. Terzic says Jaden currently has muscular problems in the abductor area, which is not surprising after his long break. We will wait and see how things develop over the next 2 days and decide at short notice whether he will travel with us to Heidenheim. Heidenheim.
So they're offloaded. They've offloaded Gio, a couple of young prospects. Their big signing they brought in the winter window is now injured with another muscle injury, which seems to be a big issue in Dortmund.
Oh God, yeah, it's 10 now. Then must be 10 on the injury list now.
So I mean, the big thing here is, yeah, I'm sure Terzic was looking at it, going, yeah, I'm kind of hoping that that Gio stays because.
No, that's not what he said. He didn't say, I hope he stays. He said,
no, I was paraphrasing, but yeah.
I know, but he said, I don't think he's leaving. I expect.
Well, I haven't heard anything. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. What are you, a fucking moron? How can you not hear anything, you stupid
I don't
fuck?
have the internet at the house.
I don't watch. I've never seen a report in
This
the
phone
newspapers.
this phone is a burner.
I don't read Build. I don't read any newspapers. I don't know any rumors going on at my club. Oh no, Reyna's never expressed an interest in leaving to me personally. Oh, well, that must mean you're just have your fucking head up your asshole then.
How many players are actively just going up to the coach going like, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. On
Right.
leave.
That's not how
We're
it
not doing
works.
that.
That's not how it works, Terzic, you stupid fuck. Now it makes him look like a total fucking moron, which he is anyhow. He's an idiot.
Terzic's like, man, if I knew that he was leaving, I would have given his 15 minutes to some other academy kid. Yeah, I would have given him the 15 minutes to develop.
Probably not. He would have thrown in one of the old guys instead. But what a dumbass he looks like now in the German press and everywhere, because he's like, oh, no, he's never expressed any interest in leaving to me personally. So I expect him to be ready on Friday when we play. Well, you stupid fuck. Are you reading any reports at all? I mean, it's absolutely insane. Like, no one at the front office said, hey, dumb fuck, don't say that in the press. It's all over the papers. We got Sevilla, we got Marseille, and we got Nottingham Forest all knocking on the door. You dumb fuck. Don't say stupid shit like that. Just
It's
say
like,
no comment.
My girlfriend hasn't come up to me and expressed the interest in cheating on me, but she is going to nightclubs dressed in very skimpy outfits. But I expect her home at 2 a.m.
And she's got this guy named Bob on her phone that she talks to all the fucking time. Yeah, I wonder what's going on there. But I'm sure she's not cheating on me.
Kumar, you had it before I said it. I swear to God, I did not look at your
My wife never told me she was cheating.
I was trying to chime into Derek's conversation there for a minute.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. If that isn't an insight into Terzic's stupidity, then
no one told me.
I mean, you gotta, how ignorant or how, I don't know, what kind of blinders is this guy wearing? Anyhow, losing half the team, half of the young stars, would-be stars. And I know Raina signed the extension, so he's coming back. But man, the fucking fans out there and supporters just went absolutely nuts, didn't they, Brett? Everybody thought this was the worst move since sliced bread. And guess what? I agree with Alexi Lawless that that's too much. It's too much.
I don't think I saw a single person on the comment section of any of the Dortmund news blog talking about Gio's departure as a good thing by any means.
Well, not only that, the U.S. fans were like, "Oh, this is horrible. He's going to get injured. Oh my god."
Yeah, we're going to be getting that in just a second. Yeah. So Dortmund extended Gio's contract, which was due to expire in 2025 by 1 year to 2026, in order to have better negotiating position in the summer, or to benefit from much improved Raina. I don't think Raina is going to stay. But the whole point of this loan, we talked about this last show. The whole point of the loan, of the extending, was to guarantee a loan.
Exactly.
100%, because I know Dortmund was dragging their feet saying, hey, this is our buying price, take it or leave it. And everybody's like, I don't want to pay for that right now. It's the winter, it's the winter season. Why am I going to pay for that much?
So Mendes, genius move on his part, says, okay, listen, you don't want to let him go on loan. You want $15 million, and I get it. However, we'll sign an extension with you if you let him go out on loan. And then they said, oh, you'll sign an extension? Okay, well, fuck. Till when? 2026? Okay. And they signed the deal. And they let him go off on loan. And they said, fuck the 15 mil because he's coming back and we get to sell him later for more than 15 mil, probably.
Yep. Yeah.
So smart move on both parts. Smart move for both.
Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning this during when it was coming out in all my tweets about it. We're basically saying this is a good move on all parties. Nottingham Forest gets a very talented player for arguably, as Tactical mentioned here, $1 million is not a whole hell of a lot.
No.
Gio gets to go out on loan and hopefully perform and get more playing time. But that's all on Gio at that point. He's got to perform. So it's all on him at that point. But he gets out of Dortmund for at least 6 months to make his name.
Yep.
He's going to have Nations League. He's going to have Copa. And then it's the summer window. And I guarantee you part of that is we'll talk about. Jesse Marsh talks about when you extend your contract, you usually put out a buyout clause there.
Right.
Talk about that type of stuff.
Right. Yep.
But I don't have any concern that Dortmund's going to hold him over into the next season. Because the whole complaint about why they didn't want to just loan him out or sell him right now was because if they didn't sell him now and they go into his final year of his contract,
they're fucked.
They're going to get significantly less.
Yeah.
Significantly less.
So this is a good deal for all. But the thing that it's a little disturbing to me is the pampered gloves were all, not everyone, but I saw it all over Twitter. All right. And I think we should play the clip.
Yep. Just want to show a little promo photo of him in his Nottingham Forest outfit. Almost looks like the Photoshop job I did, but this is legit.
But too many fans out there, U.S. men's national team fans, are like way overly concerned about this. That he's going to break a leg, he's going to pull a hammy, this is going to destroy his. I don't understand what the concern there is. I understand being concerned. Okay, if you want to be concerned, fine. This is a grown kid now. I'm not a kid. I can't call him a kid. He's an actual man at this point. He's got to make some change. He's got to take some risks in his career.
Step up, yeah, absolutely. He wasn't getting much playing time at Nottingham, at Dortmund. He's got to go down a step. Or I don't know if he's going to a better league. He's going to do a better league. I would think Dortmund's probably a better team.
And he wants to challenge himself.
But,
he's ambitious. He believes in himself. What's wrong with that? Mm-hmm. You think that, I know that Texas, that Nottingham Forest has a bad medical team. Compared to what? Dortmund? Holy fuck. They've got one of the worst fucking medical teams out there. And then somebody's like, well, I just think this is going to be Doug McIntyre says, this is a bad situation, I think, for Raina. Compared to fucking what? Where he's at now at Dortmund? That's a bad situation. So you're assuming Nottingham Forest is going to be as bad or worse. You can't make those kinds of assumptions. We got to not coddle this kid, which brings up me and Lawless agreeing on something. Bunch of helicopter moms. I agree. Yeah. Call up the ambulances, have them ready at the game. So as soon as he's injured, we can get him to the hospital immediately because it's going to happen. He's going to break. Yeah. He's going to get Stu Holden. Somebody's going to snap his leg in two places. I have no concern about Gio getting injured. I don't like the Forest fit. But listen, I understand that because Gibbs White plays his position there and Gibbs White ain't going anywhere. And he just somebody's like, well, I think Gibbs White's coming back from injury. No, he's already back. He already played a game back from injury, Gibbs White. So he's already back, but he can play out wide too in this setup. Hold on. And I also, because I understand the bad fit being they're a team in promotion, they're in relegation battle. They're not going to tend to play an open style, possession style ball. But you know what? Let that be a learning experience for Raina. Maybe he has to play some fucking defense, hustle. That's fine. It'll teach him some things. He's only there for 6 months. This isn't permanent. Let the boy learn, the man learn. Go ahead, Brett. Sorry, I had to get
I was just going to say, if he gets played out of position, who cares? You play that position to the best of your ability.
Yes.
And to your point, if he has to check back and forth, it's the same thing that BJ and Berhalter have started asking him to do anyways.
And Terzic.
You're going to have to start, Terzic, the big reason why Terzic doesn't rate him is like, I just don't rate his defensive ability on the ball. Like,
Right.
you don't need to. That's the thing. Now, at Force, he might have to, but even then, maybe Gio has more offensive ability or more offensive capabilities to remain up higher, or he checks back and gets the ball and distributes. He was doing that for Dortmund at the very end anyways.
He's really good in transitioning on counters.
Yeah.
So if they're looking for him to do that and to make that final perfect through ball, that's a good thing. I don't know why. Listen, nothing's the perfect fit. Okay, you could say, oh, well, Sevilla would have been a perfect fit. Would it be? I don't know. Some people were saying there was a whole host of teams like Bologna. Okay, fine. Maybe you would have fit in better there. But there's no such thing as a perfect deal and a perfect signing. I mean, wherever he would have gone, he would have had to work himself into the team. So there's no such thing as perfect. So you take the imperfect, or what do they say? The enemy of good is perfection, or whatever the quote is. But you're not going to get perfection. But you can get good, and you can get something that challenges you as a player to get better. That he's going to see a faster pace of play. This will be good for him, and I think he's up to it. So let's let him do it.
Oh.
Let's not helicopter mom this kid.
Real quick before I go on to this topic, but I've got something to go off of that as well. Wife just sent me a text and says, "Make me a teeny, you fucknut." Got orders, guys. I'll have to do that after the show, though.
All right.
But yeah, people are like, "Oh, he's gonna go to a very physical league and he could get injured." I'm like, he's been CONCACAFing his entire fucking life.
Yeah, that's all.
How much more physical do you need to get?
Exactly. He got his leg broken. It broke at CONCACAF, and then they were like, "Oh, this guy's been injured forever." No, he hasn't. He's had a hammy. There's been 2 major injuries. Hammy. And don't call him, Tax called him injury prone. I'm like, what the hell, dude? He went through a short span where he was pulling that same fucking, making the same
injury. Yeah.
Over and over again. He's been clear
for almost a year. Yep.
Almost 2,000 minutes of play. He's not been injured. All right. And now we're going to be
1,800, but yeah.
Yeah, 1,800, 2,000 minutes he's played since the broken leg was healed, which is not something that has anything to do with being injury prone. When somebody breaks your fucking leg, that doesn't mean you're injury prone. That means some motherfucker broke your leg. Okay? The Canadian motherfucker that did
and
that.
Just an FYI, the 1,800 minutes is both club and country because he wasn't getting a lot of playing time at Dortmund.
Right.
So, it is 1,800, but it's 1,800 minutes. That's half of a season, roughly.
Without being injured.
Without being injured.
Yeah.
So
don't let the perfect be the enemy of good. Thank you, Brian.
Brian also follows it up with saying soft bones.
Oh yeah, he must have soft bones. It's so funny when I mess up American sayings. It's because I still don't know them all. I didn't learn them all. I've heard them all, but it's so funny. But I've heard that one before, so I couldn't remember. Thank you, Brian. And you know what? Who agrees with us? Well, this is worrying that he agrees with us, actually. Oh, no. But listen to what he says here.
Is this at 1340?
3340, 3345.
Now let's play it.
And it's almost kind of morphed into a coddling of him.
Yes.
And I get it. Because I think we all, even at times, can be critical of him, and certainly over the last year and what happened with the World Cup, all that kind of stuff. That's one thing.
Look, we're not stealing this content, guys, because we're talking
how talented he is.
Yes,
and how
that's good enough.
Give a little bit of background there. We got copyright claimed by
we got copyright
union.
We got copyrighted by Fox last time we used a 20-second clip. So we're just talking over him as much as we can. Hopefully you could hear what he's saying. But the basic bottom line, we don't need to play anymore.
It's pussyfooting around him.
We don't need to coddle this guy. He's a grown man at this point. He's got probably a huge bush of hair on his nutsack. Let him go out and go fucking make his personal decision with his agent and challenge himself. And if he breaks his fucking leg because it's let's say he gets Stu Holden. Yeah, that'll be horrible. But the chances of that happening are minuscule to none.
Well, and I'm not sure if people are actually watching his gameplay anyways. When he goes into 50-50s with other players, it's usually the other player that's bouncing off of him. And there are times where he gets tackled, like legit, like down. Yeah. but he's a physical player, despite the fact that he's also a creative player. That's not very common. Usually, the creative players are the ones who get completely fucked over.
He's 6'2". He's not a small little. He's not a stick of a player either. If you look at him, he's a big boy, and nobody's just gonna. They're not. He's gonna get pushed around. This isn't Brendan Aronson, all right. And if Brendan Aronson can play in the Premier League but not break a leg, I think Raina can probably get through it too.
He took a bit of punishment too. Well, sometimes light punishment, but
he ate a lot of grass. Yeah. Now you're saying, oh, he'll pull a hammy. He could pull a hammy anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. If he goes to Italy, he still could pull a hammy. Hammies aren't like exclusive to the Premier League. Last time I looked, there are plenty of players pulling hammies in the Italian league, the French league, you name the league, Germany, they all pull hammies.
We just saw Sancho for Dortmund have a muscular problem. So
right.
The same muscular problem that Gio had for a year. So
abductor. So anyhow, you got more clips to play. I'll let you go with your.
Yeah. So is there any more laws here?
There was, but that got the point across, and I don't want to risk getting slammed again by Fox.
Right on. All right, now we're getting into our segment where we.
And this, by the way, this is just because I'm telling you tact is wrong, doesn't mean like I dislike tact. All right, I know we get in this point in this planet where if you disagree with somebody, then you think the other person's a turdsicle. Well, Tact's not. He's not. He's a good guy, and we like him. We've had him on our show. We've been on his show, but he's just wrong. He's just wrong. And I don't care about all the red warning light, red flags he was talking about. They're not. Every signing in this situation, every loan even has its, okay, well, this isn't perfect. Oh, that's not perfect either. And oh, that's not either perfect. Fuck perfect. Let him challenge himself. We don't need perfect. This is a good opportunity for him to learn for 6 months. It's 6 months. He's not stuck there for 2 years. He's stuck there for fucking half a season.
Well, and to your original point, as far as the fact that we may be disagreeing with Tact here. I mean, it is healthy to have disagreements. It's healthy to have debates. We're getting to a point where people are we're kind of all merging into our own little echo chambers, and nobody really necessarily contradicts what other people are saying. And there's a good point to this is that a lot of us have the same thought process on a lot of things.
Right.
But there are some things that we'll disagree with. And just because we're disagreeing with Tact here doesn't mean that we think anything less of him or that we think he's stupid.
Right.
But
it just means that we disagree with him on this particular item.
And he's being stupid. No.
he's being overprotective of the player.
Yes.
He's coddling him. And listen, if anybody would coddle him, that's his dad's job. Yeah. All right. And his dad obviously okayed this move.
Well, I think Claudio's going, hey, I'm like 3 inches smaller than you, and I played in this fucking league. You get your ass out there.
I think he's smaller now.
I know. I'm just saying.
Claudio is like 5'10", maybe 5'9".
Yeah, okay.
I don't know where he got his height from. I think at his mom's side.
Mom's side, yeah.
And his balls.
I was going to say something else here. But okay, so we're starting here at the 7 minute. And this is when basically he talks about Gio being injury prone.
Okay.
Premier League is not a good league for injury-prone players. It's very intense, very physical. Obviously, world-class players too when it comes to talent and ability. But it's a league that is very fast-paced, very physical. And if you're injury-prone, it tends to hit you and hit you hard.
Oh, God. All right. And then he compares him to Pulisic, which you can't do that. They're two totally different players. And yes, Pulisic went through a string of injuries at Chelsea. But I think Pulisic would tell you, and he said this in an interview, it was because I was trying and practicing just as hard in practice as I would in the game. And it did not set me up to be a healthy player on the field. Because as an American, he was taught to always go hard, 100% in practice.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else does that in practice. Not the players who want to preserve their muscles and preserve their bodies. You don't blow your wad in practice. You got to save something for the game. And Gio doesn't strike me as a player who's going to go 110%.
We found that out at the World Cup, didn't we?
Yes.
Derek, what's the word that you always describe Gio's style?
Languid.
Languid.
He appears to be languid.
So, what's the difference between him and Pulisic in that sense?
Yeah, well, Pulisic's a little jitterbug, and
Raina,
Raina,
very talented. Both are talented, but
is a gazelle.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot more not Frank Lampard, but the other fucking center midfielder, Gerrard. He reminds me of the way he runs like Steven Gerrard. He's languid. He looks like he's not going anywhere, but he is going somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I mean, at his best, Gerrard looked like he was slow, but he was never slow. He was just always 2 steps ahead of everybody, and he moved a lot faster than people thought he could too. That's Gio Reyna.
Here's a great point.
Not just that, Gio grew up in England.
He grew up in England, so I mean, the English style game is not new. It won't be new to him.
No new language to learn either.
Yeah, he's played against their style as a youth. I mean, of course, he left and everything like that, but he definitely grew some development in that game. So he's very familiar with how physical and fast-paced the style of that game is going to be.
Yeah, and by the way, this quote super chat, which isn't ours, S27, our brother. No, there is no option to buy.
Nope.
Absolutely zero.
This video is also out like yesterday, I think.
Right. But the news had already broken, though.
True. Well, the thing was that at that time when the news broke, when the pundits were breaking it, they were saying, "Hey, it's a loan, no option to buy." But then there were a lot of other sites that were saying, "No, there's still an option to buy."
Well,
so I don't know if those sites were going off of old news or what, but there's still some confusion in here.
Got to get manual Veth on your phone. That way you can ask and clear that shit up, because there is no option to buy. There's always an option to buy. Theoretically, Nottingham Forest could come back and say, if they stay up the season, and go, he was so integral in what he did here, even though there's not an option to buy, we'd like to work one out right now at the end of the season. How about we give you 40 mil for this kid? Yeah, then there's always an option to buy. All right.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So here we're going to get into the point where Tech does what most people who call him injury prone do, and that's to focus on his history of injuries. Makes sense.
Right.
But there's always, and he even talks about the context. So I can't say the same thing that I normally bring up whenever everybody else brings this up. But
some of you might say he hasn't had a muscle injury in a long time, which is true. His last injury was a broken ankle because of the rude Canadians. But at the same time, until proven otherwise, he is injury prone. Like, you're gonna say he hasn't really gotten injured this season. Like,
no, that's not how logic works.
Oh no, shit, he hasn't been playing.
Okay, but we just said he has been playing, and he's been playing in CONCACAF. He's been playing some minutes for Dortmund, and if you add all those minutes up, it's almost 2,000 minutes. He hasn't had a hammy issue since.
Champions League. We talk about the fast pace and physicality of England.
Of Champions League. Yeah, exactly. I think we're good to go. And no, you don't label a player injury prone until otherwise. That's not how it works.
Take the training wheels off at this point. Come on, guys.
If you want to see what's injury prone looks like, go look up Fabian Johnson on Transfer Market, and then go look at his injury history, which is in the statistics section. There is an injury prone player. Or go look at Jordan Morris, even though not all his injuries are, his fault either. It's just you can't just label players things just because they were 2 years ago.
This whole argument about the injury prone is the fact that if you go and look at his injury history on Transfer Market, this show is not brought to you by Transfer Market, by the way, guys. But
I know, but Manuel's getting a shout out tonight.
If you go and look through the history, you'll see. Oh, he had a muscular injury. He was out for whatever, like
he had COVID, games. The flu,
and then he's illness. He had a muscular injury. He's back, muscular injury, and it was continuous. But if you don't recall what happened during that time period, he was gone for an extended period of time recovering. He came back, played for like 12 minutes. He agitated his leg again, got subbed off, gone for a couple of games, had another illness. Came back, agitated again. That was the towards the end of the season when he was like breaking down in tears.
Yeah,
because that's got to be the most frustrating thing. You think you're good, and you go out there, and it's just like tweak. And you're like,
and it's the same one over.
Yeah, is this ever going to go away?
Yep. Now
So
it
was all one injury. All one injury.
And it was healed. It's healed. It's obviously been healed for almost 2,000 minutes now because it hasn't come back since then. You can't label that. Whereas you look like somebody like Fabian Johnson. All right, he had an abductor, then he had a hammy, then he had this, then he had that. It's all different injuries, just 1,000 different things going wrong. All right, that's somebody who's injury prone. This guy had one injury that hung around for a little bit,
a year,
got over it. Now he's been fine for almost 2,000 minutes of play in CONCACAF, which is extremely physical, and Champions League, as well as for club. So, and FA is
45 minutes plus against Holland in the World Cup.
Pokal.
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
That's pretty physical.
Yeah, no shit. Pokal's pretty physical. Derek hates Fabian Johnson. No. I don't. I loved him as a player. I just use him as an example of somebody who is injury prone. Although he was somehow baffled in the German press about why no MLS teams wanted him. That was hilarious.
For your salary? No.
Exactly. And the money he wanted to go to MLS with his injury record, it was hilarious.
No.
All right.
I don't think us covering this is going to change many people's minds as far as the injury prone thing. I just wanted to we want to get it back out there for like the third or fourth episode in a row that the injury prone topic is kind of silly.
It is. And well, listen, I mean, I guess everybody has different thoughts about where's the line? Is your line an injury prone, a player who had one hammy injury that hung around for a while and then got a broken leg, and then he got COVID, and then he had the flu? Is that injury prone? If that's injury prone to you, then it can be injury prone. Okay, that's fine, but not in my long-standing watching of and tracking American players, especially with some of the ones I've tracked over my history, like Josh Gott, like Mr. Hip Injury. Listen, there's just so many players that are injury prone and were in their career. That's injury prone to me. This is not injury prone. This is just what happens to every player. Look how many players are injured on Dortmund right now. There are 10 players on the injury list. Are you going to say that Royce is injury prone because he's had 3 injuries in the last 5 years? Is that injury prone to you? I mean, where are we drawing the line at what we call injury prone? Or what is a natural state of a player? Like every player outside of a handful of them are injured throughout a season. They miss a couple games a season. Every player does that. If they do that 3 seasons in a row and they miss a total of 8-9 games in 3 seasons, is that injury prone? I don't know. You get to draw your own line. You get to be you. I just happen to disagree with the way it's framed here. And that's all. It's not personal, obviously.
Well,
because we love tag.
But I mean, would we be having this argument? Let's say if Gio never came back and agitated it again twice until it was finally healed. What if he were just gone that entire time period? It's still the same amount of days, same amount of games missed. Let's just say he missed those couple games that he was back and re-injured himself. If he was just gone in that one long stretch, would we be sitting here saying, "Oh, he's injury prone"? Or we'd say he's recovered from an injury.
Exactly. Oh, and it could it be that medical team at the time that was all fired, by the way, was giving Raina bad advice that he was ready, he was capable of coming back when he wasn't ready to come back, and he would come back too early?
That's why that staff got fired, by the way,
Yeah, all that staff got fired. And were they pushing him out too early because of what they saw, the potential they saw in him and how he was playing with Holland at the time? Mm-hmm. They were rocking it. They were killing it. So him not being able to play, that's not good for Dortmund. They need him on the pitch. They want to challenge Bayern for the championship. They need their best players. So they pushed him out too early. Does that make him injury prone? Or does that make that a shitty fucking group of doctors at Dortmund that all got fired? All right. So, I mean, and half the team was injured, by the way, back then.
Yeah.
In that stretch that Raina was also injured all the time. They were known as the worst medical team in the Bundesliga. That's why they all got fired. Daniel says only McKennie could transfer to Dortmund and not get injured. Well, if he got injured, he'd be back 3 weeks before he's supposed to be. Jack Pineda for $5. Thank you, brother. Maybe Gio got an emergency circumcision. That wasn't on his list of injuries, by the way. In
I think that's a muscular injury.
I mean, I've gone through Transfer Market's list of injuries. They have certain categories of them. Some of the ones that are missing, that's one of them, circumcision. The other one is herpes or venereal disease, and the other one would be testicular. There's no category for testicular damage, and that's weird to me. And I'm going to write manual after the show and say you got to add these because
correct it.
Plenty of guys are injured their left testicle all the time out there. Tom, 120 in here. Hit the likes. Yeah, please, guys, hit the likes. I mean, listen, maybe we don't always bring it, all the details or whatever, but hopefully you're entertained. Are you not entertained? I don't know.
Are you not entertained?
I know. I was going to do that. I'm like, nah, that's outrageous. All right. So
this is when Tech talks about the extension.
Are we still doing more Tech? We got
I got 2 clips from him. Yes.
We got a hammer in the nuts a little more.
Hammer. Right. He's got to learn somehow, Derek.
All right. What do we got?
Thanks. And according to information, Borussia Dortmund have extended Gio Reyna's contract from 2025 until 2026. So
we knew that.
Essentially, his contract now goes all the way till the 2026 World Cup with Borussia Dortmund.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good thing.
Why?
I don't think. Sure, try to understand it this way. If Gio Reyna went into the summer of 2024 with 1 year left in his contract, Dortmund would essentially have to sell him.
I'm going to pause him here real quick.
Okay, they plan to sell him anyhow.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Dortmund's board came out and said we're not going to go into the first year of his last year of his contract without something decided.
Absolutely.
Because, again, we talked about this. What happens if he gets to the last year of his contract? His value is going to drop.
Yes.
And why am I going to pay $15 million for him right now?
No, they're going to pay like $8 million for him at that point. Yeah. And that's why this deal by Mendes, his new agent, was so spectacular, because not only did he get the loan that Reyna desperately wanted, maybe not to the perfect team that we all were hoping for, but not only did he get the loan, but he also gave Dortmund something back to allow them to recoup and hopefully make more than 15 million off of them, because that's what they were asking for this window. But get back to maybe making more around 20, 26. At one point, it was $40 million that Reyna was worth. Now he's down to 15. Okay, so this gives them time. They can play him for one more season when he gets back for this loan. Terzic will be gone. Hopefully the coach will be different, and Reyna will get to play, and they can get that $15 million up to 35 and then sell him. It's a win-win for everybody. This is not bad news for Reyna. It's not bad news for Dortmund. And Terzic, you've got to keep in mind when Tech says this, Tech doesn't seem to be taking into account that Terzic is gone. And this could all change. The way the new coach approaches this could be totally different. You could get back to the old Dortmund ball of playing younger players. We'll see. And he's not young anymore, by the way, Reyna. I mean, 21, 20. You got hair on your nuts.
Well, remember Dortmund, only a couple years back, we're talking about how they wanted, and I use the term franchise player, but I know they don't have quote unquote franchise players.
Right.
But they definitely saw Reyna as a long-term investment.
Absolutely. And that's why the fucking Dortmund board came out and billed, and we reported on this weeks and weeks ago. They were upset with Terzic for not playing the younger players, and they specifically picked out Reyna. I think Mukoko was mentioned in there as well. Hey, what the fuck, dude? You're ruining the value of these players by not playing them. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing this? And then the only young player that really got a lot of extra time was Bino Gittins, and he doesn't look, to me, I'm not impressed by this player. Maybe that's me. Maybe you are impressed by him, but he looks like a selfish player who keeps his head down when he dribbles and doesn't look up for passes, at least in the 10 or so games I've watched this season for Dortmund that he's played in. But that's my personal opinion. You don't have to have the same one, obviously, but I've not been impressed. But go ahead. Sorry.
Jasper says the extension just protected his value.
Absolutely, Jasper. This is a win-win for everybody. It's a win for Reyna, gets him out of Terzic's web, and it gets him some experience playing in a faster league and, more physical league. But I think the big boy can handle it. He's not 5'8". He's a 6'2" grown boy. He doesn't get pushed around. I don't know if you noticed this. He's not on the floor every 5 seconds like Brendan Aronson. All right. He rarely is on the floor. Rarely. Very rarely. Oh, you got more quotes.
We got Marsh pulled up here, and I've got one more with Tact after this, but we got Marsh pulled up here because he's going to go into talking about the why players do a short-term extension or why they renegotiate for an extension in their contract. Yeah. Even when they probably should be transferring out type thing.
Right, because CCV did it too.
Yep.
So in Leipzig, a lot of times when players would resign, it was to introduce a buyout clause into their contract.
Yep.
You know, and so they would obviously sign for more, but then they would create, and then the club and the player or the agency would agree that in a summer window or this summer window, if we can get this fee, then we'll let the player go. You know, so that because a lot of times, like Carter Vickers may not have a buyout clause, in which case he doesn't have the flexibility that he would like to have to choose exactly where he wants to go and win.
Amen.
So, you know, sometimes those contracts get negotiated so that it's a win-win for both sides. And I've seen
I just said that. So I haven't watched this, so I'm glad you brought it up. But he explains it perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously he's got the experience in the field to know how some of these things, the inner workings of why, because a lot of people are sitting there going like, well, Gio wants out. He wants to get transferred away. Why would he sign an extension? We said the same thing about Gucci. Why would he sign a 2-year extension? And I think ultimately that was just so that way Chicago can rack up his value, play him, hopefully have a breakout season, and sell him for a shit ton.
But do MLS contracts, are they allowed to include a buyout clause?
I don't know. I don't know enough.
I mean, that's why I was more disappointed with that, is because I didn't know you can make those kind of deals with MLS, because it seems to me you're always strapped in for 3 years with no out clause.
Their contract is 3 years plus 2 options, and those options are picked up by the club, not necessarily the players. So the player is guaranteed there for 5 unless they're sold or traded.
Yeah.
Well,
whereas in the rest of the world, in your second contract with CCV, you're getting a buyout clause in there, and I'm absolutely 100% sure that Mendez got a buyout clause for Reyna into that new contract.
Yeah.
So Jesse may not get everything right when we watch his show, like certain players that he loves that used to play center back for him, but he does get this right.
Yeah,
he gets this right.
All right, let's pull up the last thing I want to talk about, Tact.
Okay.
And this isn't even a disagreement by any means with him on this front, but he talks about Forrest picking up his salary.
Well, he's right about this.
25. No, he 100% is right. I'm just gonna. One reason I want to bring this up is because of some of the other news that we talked about in previous shows.
2, for a Premier League team, 1 million euros is not a lot of money.
Oh, it's Brian.
Almost nothing for them these days.
That's right. It's really
true.
not. It's really not. The only thing I would say about this, and I mean, we talked about this a couple shows back, is the whole fair play issue that they're going through and whether or not they're going to get docked points for that. But they're happy to bring in other goalkeepers and stuff like that. So maybe this isn't necessarily, this is a big old nothing burger.
They don't seem to be.
I don't know.
They don't seem to be really concerned about it. Because I think they pretty much think they're going to stay up this season.
So,
although Luton just won and they're out of the bottom 3, which is shocking. But the other thing that he brings up here, Tack does, is, Nuno, the coach of Nottingham Forest, the manager, has the same agent as Raina. And his concern, or one of his red flags, was maybe this is just a last second deal done, and that Nuno doesn't even really want him, but
players.
Yeah, he took him because they have the same agent. And okay, that's speaking pretty lowly of Nuno. Nuno is a really good manager. What he did at Wolves was pretty goddamn impressive. Now, I thought he got booted too quick when things were starting to go south when he was there. But I think he's a quality manager, and I also think that Nuno is the kind of guy who wants to transform the way Nottingham Forest plays, regardless of the fact that they're in, what people call the relegation threat zone. I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're going to be relegated. I mean, I'm amazed that Chris Wood is as good as he is for them, because I've never really thought of Chris Wood as being that good of a player. But you know what Chris Wood is? It's what we hope Duncan McGuire becomes, right? Somebody who isn't the most skilled player. What is he, Australian? But you know what he is? He knows where to be in the right place, the right time, and he takes advantage of the goal opportunities. So I think they'll stay up. I think they got the players to do it. You got Gibbs White. You got other players on there that should keep you up. The quality on that team. Now, the defense is a little worrying and concerning, and Matt Turner's goalkeeping, we won't have to worry about going forward, I don't think. I think we will see Matt's Sells start almost immediately and Turner benched. And then you still got Wayne Hennessy if you really fall apart. I don't even know where Vladimos went, but Kiwi, he's a Kiwi, yeah. I said he's Australian. God, New Zealanders hate it when you confuse them with Australian.
You say potato.
So this whole idea that he's not going to play, yeah, exactly, is a joke. It's he's going to play. Well, the question is how much.
Let's
and how fast.
Yeah, let's listen to some a YouTube influencer like ourselves, but is a Forest fan. Let's listen to what he has to say about it.
Okay, what does a Forest fan have to say?
All right, so this is, let me just pull it up here. Forest Fan TV.
Okay.
I've actually watched a couple of his videos.
I've never watched it. I'll have to tune in.
So he talks about how Nuno's actually wanted Gio. And this is only a second clip. I basically just ruined the clip here, but
that's good news to hear.
Was one that Nuno wanted from the off. Nuno was really keen on Reina to become a Forest player.
Okay, well that's I mean he thinks that. I don't know if he has Nuno's phone number, but apparently somewhere Nuno's let it be known that it's unlike when the Pulisic was signed to Chelsea and the manager there currently at the time said, I never asked for this player. I don't even know who he is. Remember that?
Yeah. Brian, yeah. I don't know if you're the one who shared this with me or not. I definitely got tagged on Twitter about it.
Good job, Brian. Hey, and you can't, we agree. He's going to play. So I don't think it has anything to do with the money, though. I just think that Nuno is a smart manager and knows how to work this kid. I can't stop calling him a kid. He's not a kid anymore.
He's a kid to us.
I'm going to start calling him the dude. They're going to work the languid dude into this lineup. He will figure out a way to do it.
All right. In this clip, he talks about how the Sevilla option broke down and how he ended up at Forest.
Okay.
But what's happened is the talks with Sevilla broke down. And after that, basically, Raina was fully hell-bent and set that coming to the Premier League and Nottingham Forest was going to be his choice. He's flying in today for a medical.
Yeah. So yeah. Basically things broke down. So, I mean, the talks of him possibly going to Sevilla was definitely there. And much like other talks, did they break down because of what Dortmund was asking at the time?
Well,
so I feel like if the whole just alone no buyout clause, no buyout option, I mean, I feel like maybe Sevilla would have bid at that.
Well, this is how I heard it went with Sevilla. They're like, listen, we can't pay you $15 million. And the Dortmund guy's like, okay, well, if you can't pay the $15 million, then I need to fuck your sister. That's got to be in the contract. I fuck your sister or no deal. And the guy's like, fuck you. Oh, my God. Holy shit. They're like, you never fuck my sister ever. Deal's done. This is officially broken.
Lose my number. Don't call me back.
I sounded Russian or something there. All right.
I kind of went kind of Japanese in there for what.
I don't know what we're doing there. All right. Jack Pineda for $2. Yeah, so that should be the headline. Sevilla negotiations about Reina breakdown because Dortmund asked to fuck the agent's sister. There you go. Ben, you just skipped.
Oh, I'll come back to it. I just saw something that was funny.
Ben Wheeler. Y'all went Arabic.
Yeah.
I usually go DRAC, which is, I'm not sure what it is, but it is
a German Southern type of combination.
It's some sort of mix there of the goat. which is what D-Rec is based on, The Goat, by Adam Sandler.
Triumph? Not Triumph? What?
Yeah, not Triumph. No,
That's right.
it's based on The Goat, which is holy shit.
I just think everybody initially went Triumph because you're still puppeting a dog. So
yeah, and they said Triumph. No, it was a total ripoff of Adam Sandler's The Goat. You fucked me right in the goat ass. Holy shit. Yeah. All right. Nick Hemphill. That fan is not a real Forest fan. Ooh, sounding like there's some personal shit going down here.
Cartoon is going to change reviewing this hack.
This Forest hater.
I don't know. It came up. I like some of the things he said about this, but I have no idea what the backstory is behind any of this. But, this is his version of the front four. Maybe not necessarily starting this weekend, but moving forward.
Okay.
Turner. Just think about this. Raina, Elanga, Morgan Gibbs-White, Taiwo as your front four. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm jizzing all over. I don't think he's going to start right away, but it's nice of him to say that. I just don't think he's going to start.
I don't know if he's necessarily saying he's going to start either. I'm just saying that's the front four that he's going to go with.
Well, I think he said, how about for the next game or next?
Oh.
So, yeah, that's not happening next game. He's going to get like 20 minutes. I don't know. You'll play it again?
Nope, this is the new one. New clip.
Okay.
We're moving on to that.
All right, let's go. Yeah, let's do it. We're 2
about
hours.
This guy, Matt Turner. I need to get it out of my system, so expect a rant this afternoon.
Oh,
but
boy.
a goalkeeper will be incoming from Nottingham Forest. One of the few positives from yesterday, apart from Taiwo Elanga being back, Taiwo scoring, is that Turner just underlined, sealed his fate. That is last time we will see him in a Nottingham Forest shirt.
He's right.
Forest are going to be moving for a goalkeeper in the next 24 hours. Well,
and they did.
36 hours. A keeper will have to come in. There's no two ways about it. It's hot on the agenda. It's going to happen.
Yeah, we love Matt. We love Matt. All right. I love Matt Turner. I think he's a great guy. I've heard nothing but fabulous things about him, but yeah, he choked. He fucking choked. It's not even that he's not capable of being a competent, at least top championship level goalkeeper, who could survive and still be consistent enough to play for a team like Nottingham Forest. It's just that he choked. He lost his mind. He was unable to keep and you saw it when that goal went through his legs, Brett. Did you see him roll over, put his legs in the air like a dog that just been shot?
Yep.
You just can't react like that. Everybody on the field can see that you are mentally in dire straits. And it's so obvious when he plays, and he's been playing, that he is in dire straits. So mentally, he's just lost all confidence. As bad as he has played, has never been as bad as he played for the United States men's national team. We have seen some great games out of Matt Turner. We have seen him save way harder shots than that from way harder angles. He's just choking. He's choking. That's it. Some people choke when they get to the big boy game. They choke, and he choked, and now he's going to be out of a job. Sorry.
David said, watched Forrest's interview today. I'm not sure Gio looked overly excited. Hope I'm wrong.
He doesn't look ever excited about anything, dude.
Except for the one where Pulisic said shits. We took shits on the field or something like that.
Oh, that was hilarious. That and when he said when he dribbled through the whole team, and it looked like Diego Maradona.
Oh, really?
That I wish we had a clip of that. That was one of the most
I'm sure we can pull that out.
Most funny interview. But if you have heard anything about
it, was the same interview. That was just a great interview, quite frankly.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
I loved it when Pulisic was talking and being super serious, and Gio's just in there biting his lower lip, going,
"Yep, exactly," and kind of poking him like, "You think I did a great job?
You want to back me up on this? Yeah,
you want to back me up on that Maradona thing the coach said?"
But Ryan says it's the hype me up clip. You want to hype me up?
You want to hype me up? Yeah. Now go back to the other guy. Who was it?
Oh, which other guy?
You just had him up about Raina being.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't done talking to that guy.
All right, my bad,
but if
my bad.
you don't find him, that's fine. But I would say can't even remember his name. It just disappeared off the screen, so I can't remember his name either. But nevertheless, I would say this: if you know people who know Reyna, he is a chill kid. He is super chill. So if you're worried about his interview not reflecting how excited he is, he's just not that kind of guy. He's super chill, super calm, super. I mean, he's just not an outwardly nutty kid, right? He's very, I don't want to say mature, but he's very reserved because obviously he's had his maturity issues at the World Cup.
I'm sorry to say, but if he wasn't excited being there, he would have just said no to the actual loan at that point. We were down to like the final 24 hours. I mean, if he wasn't excited to leave Dortmund for 6 months and go somewhere new, it might not have necessarily been his first choice. Maybe it was. Maybe he was really good in the Premier League. I don't know, but he still would probably have done any interview. I showed the promo picture of him like I'm like, this looks strange.
Yeah, it's obviously they told him to do that. Now, if you really want to know what normal Reyna looks like, watch our intro and outro. That's Reyna. Okay. It's a tarantula between a giraffe and a whatever it says. That's Reyna. Super chill. Like he's stoned. He's not stoned though. I'm sure he doesn't smoke the weed.
When it comes to like public speaking, again, it's sort of like he's just, I'll answer the questions, I'll get through this as quickly as possible type of thing. Because when he's on the pitch, when he's on the field during warm-ups and practices and stuff like that, he's a completely different guy. He's got smiles on his face most of the time.
Yeah.
And joking around with his friends.
But he is known as the dude for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So he's super chill. He doesn't talk like the dude, really, but he's pretty chill like the dude. Fumar Moto, listen, Fumar, you're becoming one of my favorites on this show, dude. Man, you've been popping up here for the last month or so. Man, you got good comments constantly. Reyna gives interviews the same pace he plays. Yes, he's languid or appears to be languid and not moving very quickly. As I said earlier, kind of like Steven Gerrard did back in the day. You're like, he's kind of doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but he is. That's why they used to call Gerrard the Gazelle. Maybe we should call Reyna the dude and the gazelle. Poised. He's very poised on the field. Like he does not lose the ball. You can't take the ball away from fucking Gio Reyna.
That's it.
So,
well, in every single game, this season, when he gets to play the minutes, he may have had like one bad game in there, but every single comment we make about his performance is sort of like, the guy never lost the ball.
No, he never loses the ball. Like you go through the season. I'm sure you could find a couple times where he lost the ball. But seriously, when you watch the one touch videos or the every touch videos that they have on, and because maybe you missed the game and you're going to watch it later, but you want to see what happened. Yeah, he just never loses the ball. Been rocking with you guys since the interstitials and voiceover shows. Interstitials, something about titties. That's all I know.
So like the original podcast when we just had our pictures up and we did the memes throughout the entire show.
Is that what he's talking about?
Well, the voiceover show. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's going back a long time, Fumar. You've been around for at least 2 years then.
Let's say when we rehashed the show, we still did that. We probably went like 8 months before we finally whipped out cameras and did shit with our beautiful faces.
I'm glad you said cameras.
Whipping our dick out.
Just whipping it out.
Rocking out with their cocks.
All right. Rocking. Yeah. All right. Should we get to the weekend report?
Might as well.
Or the midweek report, because there's good news, people. There is good news, and I'm going to get to it soon. We already talked about Matt Turner fucking up, so that being Mr. Bungle, that is not the good news. But Reem was back and got 15 minutes off the bench, and Jedi played 90 in a tie. Chris Richards went 90 at right back. Watching him play right back against left back. Austin Trusty, head-to-head. Fucking 90 minutes. Both of them played. But Richards came out on top. Not surprising, even though it was a really fun game to watch. Sheffield United came out right away and scored. And it ended up, I think, 3-2 with my favorite coach of all time, Roy Hodgson. So, the former Fulham guy. Love that guy. I can't believe, what is he, 102? He's still fucking coaching.
Interstitials.
Still shots. Okay. I just see tit in it, and that's all I can see.
You're like, enter tits. What? How's this working out again?
There's very few words on the planet I can't pronounce. Ankar got you, not being one of them. I can pronounce that. Also,
team.
Trusty played with a yellow card for most of the game and did really well. I didn't think Trusty was the problem in that game for Sheffield United at all. I think he gets a really good mark. Richards played really cautiously the whole game. Like, I don't want the ball. Here, you have it, center back. You distribute. I don't want it. He got a little bit more into the game later on in the game, where he took a little bit more risks and played further up the field, but mostly he played conservative. And that's fine. He's filling in. This is a guy, as they said on the show, on the game, the guys calling the game were like, this kid could play anywhere. Center back, center midfield, right back. Where is he going to play next? Goalkeeper? Well, if he played on Nottingham Forest, maybe.
Real quick, Al Weinstein for $1.99 says,
hey, Al, how are you?
Strides.
Jedi has made big strides. Yeah, Jedi is, and listen, we said he's not like a top 10 left back in the Premier League or a top 5, but he's fucking impressive. Let's just put it that way. His strides have been absolutely amazing, and he's moving into the conversation where you could say he's definitely one of the top left backs in the Premier League.
It'd be one of those things if you took one of the top 5 of the Premier League, let's just say, and you had a substitute Jedi in for him, would there be that big of a decrease?
Yeah, I'd say if I had to give you a number and you put a gun to my head and say, rank him, where is he in the Premier League left back? I go, I don't know, 8th, just like the 8th or 7th best left back in the league, maybe 6th at this point, because he's made so many strides, although this game wasn't his best defensively. I'll just say that. Haji Wright went 30 in a win. Griffin Yao, oh boy, for Westerlo. Ding, ding, ding. Go, brace for Griffin Yao.
I thought he had 3.
No.
You only have a brace now?
No, he lost that one to the guy who tapped it in.
Oh.
I
was just following it on Twitter, and it's all goal.
It's a close call, but they reversed that call, and he lost that goal. But Griffin Yao, 2 goals. You can't complain. This kid is not the player anybody was talking about at Westerlo. They were all talking about Reynolds, who did go 90 in the win, by the way. But Griffin Yao, god damn, somebody to look kind of like pay attention to. And remember, he goes back. He's back there with the Reynas and everybody else in that U17 squad that was so good, right? So maybe
he's asking if Griffin Yao to Nations League if he keeps up on form.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, because I just don't think that Greg's paying that much attention to, and I don't think he rates the Belgian league at all.
Do you think he'll be called into the pre-Copa friendlies?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe you call in like 26. You give a couple of chances of just seeing a player, and then you'll have your 23 already guaranteed.
But I mean, you're talking about wide offensive players. You definitely want to get, if you're really looking for a good backup for Pulisic and Weah, you're gonna want to look at Sargent and you're gonna want to look at Haji Wright before you look at Griffin Yao. So that's why he's so far back in the seat. To me, if you're realistic and you're Greg and you love yourself some Sargent and you know what you get with Haji Wright, and Haji Wright's been playing left winger all fucking season, and he could be your backup to Pulisic and Sargent could be your backup to Weah, why not bring those two guys? And then let's say Balogun breaks his leg, you got a backup for Pepe. Let's not hope that happens.
Yeah, Jack, he may probably get. How old is Griffin Yao?
21.
So yeah, Jackie was
20?
asking if what about the Olympic team? So that's
Yes!
probably more likely.
But he won't be released. So
That's
the thing,
the point.
thing to keep in mind is any player that is worth their weight on that team, which is Griffin Yao is becoming very much worth his weight and a regular starter for that team, they're not going to let him go for the Olympics, because the Olympics is not a FIFA window, as you guys all know. So any of the European players that are worth their weight on their team and actually contributing are not going to be allowed to leave. That's like why Julian Green's not going to be allowed to leave. Max Dietz is not going to be allowed to leave, because they are integral and important parts of Greuther Fürth's run for promotion, and they're in second. So they're not going. They're not going to be on this team. I love Max Dietz, by the way. I've already predicted, and I said this before, Max Dietz will be a center back for the U.S. men's national team by 2030. He will be a starter. I think he's one of the best young center backs we have. Slonina, 90 and a loss. That's more like back to normal for Eupen. Marlon Fossey, 90 and a loss. Joe Corona in the 18 for Tijuana.
Joe Corona.
My Corona. Cowell, 57. Didn't see it. Here's the good news, folks. Oh, who is the center forward I have been telling you all to pay attention to playing in Belgium? And I called him Indian. He's Iranian American. Born here in the U.S., raised here in the U.S., played for Yale. Kaveh Zahir-Oleslam. Zahir-Oleslam. Brace for St. Truden. I also watched the game before that he played. He didn't have as much impact, but he had a moment where he almost scored on Yank, but for McKenzie catching him in the last second and stopping him from making the shot. So this game was a different game. He did get a brace in this game. So that's 2 games I've watched in a row with our boy, Kaveh. Keep an eye on this kid, St. Truden, 6'2", 6'3".
Say the name again.
Big boy, Kaveh Zahir-Oleslam. I will spell it Zahirollelam. Yes, go to ESPN, go to Belgian League, scroll down till you see the Belgian League logo, click on that, and watch match replays of Kaveh Zahir-Oleslam. Okay? You can pronounce Kaveh Zahir-Oleslam, but can't pronounce juvenile. Juvenile. I do know that the J's in Spanish are pronounced as like Jimenez. I get it. I just fuck up on occasion. And then the last guy to report on is Lucas Paus. And I only bring him up because he was also on that U17 team. And he plays for Lausanne Uchi in Switzerland. And again, his team lost. And he does start at right center back for them almost every single game this season. And they are in last place, I believe, still in last place. They're going to continue to be in last place, and they're going to get demoted. And that's it. That's the report for this week. Man, 2 hours, 32 minutes into this thing. But I thought we had
30 minutes of our show.
We had to cover it thoroughly. We had to. It's just what we do. I got to tell you, I think that Nasser would do a better job instead of playing Inter Miami when Messi only gets to play 7 minutes and just having the prettiest stepsister pageant. I think that would probably be a more attractive thing to watch than a 6-0 drubbing of Inter Miami, which was pathetic. So,
did you see the 60 or 70-yard set piece goal?
No.
Calendar got caught off his line. The guy, like about 10 yards off the halfway, so I guess about 60 out. Just laced it and it went right over Calendar's head.
Well, listen, Nasser are filled with a bunch of Brazilian players. I get it. They're a good team. Is this a fair reflection on how bad MLS is? I hope not. 6-0 ass whooping is what that was. So, we don't need to see that much. So you might want to rethink your tours he
also gave up a penalty, and then he let that in. So, I mean, it was like back-to-back. Mind you, I guess you let in 6 goals. Some of them are going to be bad for you. But
oh, yeah. They're
not a good game for him.
No, and it doesn't build a reputation of MLS. So maybe MLS, instead of being greedy little pricks like they are in Inter Miami, being greedy little pricks trying to make as much money off of Messi as possible, they need to think about putting out a good product, because losing 6-0 and losing every single game that you've gone to in the Middle East is not a good reflection on the league and not a good reflection on MLS. In fact, a 6-0 loss is fucking embarrassing, which is a lot less than I can say about having a fucking affair with your stepsister, which shouldn't be embarrassing, but people often do claim is embarrassing. And a train wreck. Remember that last report? Yeah, well, that's a lot less embarrassing and shouldn't be embarrassing at all than losing 6-0 in your little fucking messy tour around the world. Fix it, guys. Don't be greedy. And don't wear out these players, because once the season starts, MLS, all the travel, they'll make them tired. Just like when you have sexual relationships with your stepsister. Makes you tired.
Everything in MLS seems to be as it was last year. You have Miami losing games. You have Chicago beating USL teams, but then tying MLS teams. Everything's the way it should be.
Just like you and your stepsister having a great relationship and not being embarrassed by the fact that you're not related and it's not incest. First cousin, that's a whole nother story. We will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Watch all the games you can. And thank you for showing up. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma. And we will be back on Monday to talk about who God knows what. But we'll be back. All right. Thank you, guys. We love you. Good night.
She's a trap, she's an unsung novel, turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on the line, or a phone call with or without one.
That hurt.
Then what is this thing?
Gio should never play for U.S. men's national team again because of the action of his parents.
What an idiot! Oh!
What type of Muppet does this? It's Muppets.